A town where everybody started killing each other.
Yeah, and before that, we found that village with that creepy little girl.
Yeah, there was some cult stuff going on.
Everybody had been burned. People were complaining of nightmares, stuff like that.
So we went to the next town after that, and it was a purge town. Mm-hmm. And they do the purge. Wait, and then doesn't everybody come back to life?
Yep.
The morning after, it seems everybody woke back up. I can go more into that if you'd like.
And apparently they all have the memories of the previous night. And
yes.
And they told us to get out of town before we got infected too.
And stuck there.
Because you get stuck there.
Yeah.
Did you go back to Exandria?
I'm curious to see if you kill them during the day, will they revive the next day? Because obviously if you kill them at night when they go crazy, they come back in the morning. But what if it's morning and then we kill them and then...
I don't know.
I mean, I guess
I guess they're dead.
there are some...
I mean...
There's a way to find out.
To be fair, they started it. I mean, we could just finish it. Murderate the whole town.
This is true.
It's like Groundhog Day all over again.
You have a horse there.
Yeah.
You did...
The horse and buggy, and then...
Yeah, that's right. You have 2 horses and a cart now.
Yeah.
We could just sit here, and we'll just keep killing them, and then we'll level up.
I was about to say, is this just
training?
Oh my god, you guys!
We go by milestones, man. We go by milestones.
This town, I figured it out. This town is an XP farm.
And actually, the higher level you get, the less XP you get from
killing peasants.
Eventually, you don't get any.
It's like killing boars.
Killing boars. There's no good drops. I mean, come on. So as you're speaking to the people in the common room, kind of mostly shyly looking away from you, kind of embarrassed, the mayor of the town walks in, a halfling named Belle Hayward, and starts telling you a story. Apparently, 3-4 days ago, a strange visitor in yellow robes showed up in town. Didn't speak, but had a whole lot of people, hundreds and maybe even 1,000 people with them. Walked to the middle of town and stood there, hands raised, chanting quietly, and a mist slowly settled over the town. After about an hour or so, the figure stopped chanting, brought their hands down, and started walking off with all their followers. A good number of people, even from the city, followed along with them. Byerden being the largest town in all of the Morningside countryside here. It's a good 10,000 people. A few hundred went with him. But that night, everyone in town went crazy, started killing each other, and they all retained the memories of it. But waking in the morning, there were no injuries, and everybody woke up in the bed that they had been in the night before. Like the night before, the night before the guy had showed up. Over the next few days, they found that even people who came into town from the outside, if they were killed in town, wake up in town no matter how far they get. People tried to escape, they would have the same fit, try to kill whoever was near them, run off into the wilderness, and the next morning they would wake up in Byerden. So, you're lucky, I suppose, that they were so easy to kill and bar the door.
I have a question at this point. Who are we working for now? I don't remember.
We always work for ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't know that you ever worked for anyone.
Yeah, but like who's paying us now?
I mean, technically, you're keeping an eye on a certain half-dragon egg.
Right.
Yeah.
And you made a deal with that black dragon, who seemed fairly nice for a black dragon.
Yeah.
But
are we still working for that priestess woman?
Who?
The woman from the elf town. Remember, she came in when we were in Seagull.
Alora Visorin. You're not technically working for her, but she's your contact there, and she kind of hunted you down after the whole thing with Usu had gone down, and yeah.
But who's paying our bills?
You. You have quite a bit of money.
Yes, but
I mean, in the bag of holding there is 409 gold pieces, 8 silver pieces, 1 copper piece for some reason, and 520 platinum.
I have more than that in bank account somewhere.
Plus whatever y'all might have.
Yeah. So.
But hearing this disquieting tale, Belle Hayward, the mayor, looks up at you all and kind of makes eye contact with all 5 and says, "I suggest you're gone by nightfall tonight."
I just shrug.
Fair enough. He gives you kind of a half squint and then shakes his head and walks out the door.
Who's the highest level?
All right. What do y'all want to do?
I think we should leave town. I mean, there's nobody there we really need to talk to.
I mean, it sounds like
we were just passing through here to get to.
You were
Generally heading south.
I think we were trying to track down the
yellow person.
king in yellow.
I think this might
Did
be
he
a
say
good
what
place
happened to anybody
look
that
for
left?
clues.
Did they just?
I mean,
Spunky stuff is
did he say
happening.
anything about it?
Like if they tried to leave town?
Yeah, anybody who left town that had been killed
Ends up.
wakes up again in Byron the next morning.
And while we can probably, slaughter them all fairly easily, I'd hate to take the chance of staying here.
I mean, there's 10,000 people in this town.
Well,
Even at peasant level,
yeah,
it might overwhelm.
I mean, if 10,000 peasants sling a rock at you,
yeah, you're dead.
that's you're
Just
dead.
statistically, you're gonna.
True.
So the alternative is we just keep going south.
And because in the one village where everybody had been burned, the little girl said 5 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
In the time it's taken you to get here, these people said it was about 4 days ago. So you're making up time on because it sounds like there's a large group of people traveling. So it's
Keep going south.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we probably shouldn't hang out in any towns. They may be similar. We could watch to see if the same thing occurs.
That sounds like a good plan.
I mean, the king in yellow or whoever, the cultists aren't here, so I have no reason to stay.
That's true. You don't see any sign of cultists. There's a few places you've seen where like marks have been scrubbed off a wall, and if you look closely, you see a familiar symbol that you had seen in a certain city, and the rest of you have seen this symbol a bunch of places around the world, even in the sky inside of Sigil when you were just about to leave. So it's widespread, whatever this is going on.
On to the next town.
Yeah.
I guess we're still gonna try to track down
All right.
this yellow guy.
Anybody need supplies before we leave?
Anybody need anything? Byron's the largest town you're going to come across.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's by no means a metropolis, but it is it has some things, and there is a small port where smaller ships go through the series of lakes out to the coast.
Should we just hire a ship to take us straight to that island?
Well, I don't think we decided to go to the island. I think we decided to investigate the cult thing.
Yeah, but are they all going to the island?
We don't know.
True.
I don't
Well,
think we do.
they're heading south. The island would be out west
Okay.
off the coast, so they seem to be not heading towards the island.
Okay.
Whatever happened on the island with that big arcane explosion seems to have passed, and now they're doing something else. All right.
Can I ask for, I guess just generally ask for directions for the nearest alchemical or potion shop?
Sure. There we go. There we go. Sorry. I'm trying to find a list. I know I have a list of these things. I mean, asking around a little bit, it's easy enough to find, but where did I put it? There we go. You find a place. Somebody's talking of a place, and they give you directions. Yeah. Oh, I just gotta find the name of it. Nope. All right. The place you find that's the people in this part of town are talking of anyway is actually a tattoo shop. But they also sell potions. They also do supposedly magical tattoos. It's called The Thin Line. It's about 4 or 5 blocks off.
I'm gonna start heading that way.
Okay.
Anybody else could join me?
Yeah, I'm gonna come, and I think I wanted some spell ingredients, possibly if we find an herb shop or something.
Okay. Coming up to this shop, like I said, they sell some potions. There's some herbs here as well. Like whoever runs this place, because they do magical tattoos, you're not sure what that means exactly. They do. There's like bottle. As you come up to the window, there's bottles with that looks like they're infusions of some type, and there's herbs hanging in the window. There's it looks like a dried, maybe mummified bat hanging in one of the windows. Like, it's an interesting looking little place. You heading in?
Yeah.
All right.
I want to check this place out.
Yeah. Heading in, you see a nice, clean looking tattoo shop. One reclining leather bound chair in the middle of the room with workbenches and shelves all along every wall. In some places above the shelves, you see some flash, some artwork up on the walls. There is what looks like not a high elf, a little bit smaller, but definitely fully elven by the ears. Maybe a wood elf. It just looks like reading some type of pamphlet or something, sitting in the chair. Nobody else is in the shop.
I approach him.
Okay. They look up. He says, "What's up? What can I do?"
So I'm looking for a potion in particular. Do you happen to make potions here?
We make some basic. We can source things if you need, but I mean, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for a couple potions of diminution.
Diminution, as in they make you smaller?
Yes.
You see, he looks up, kind of, seems to be, kind of going through a list in his head. I don't know that we do, man. I mean, that's some real something. I don't know that you can find that anywhere south of Singapore, honestly.
Do you happen to know how to make them?
Me? No. I can make some basic stuff, but nothing like that.
I mean, I'd be willing to pay a fair wage for these potions.
I mean, and if I could, I would be interested, but as the proprietor of this business, I have to tell you, this is not something that I know how to do. There's a couple other shops in town, but I don't know any of them are going to be good at this either.
Can I make a perception check to maybe see if he's lying to me, or
go for it?
Like if he's not telling the truth about? No, that's an 8.
It'll be an insight check.
Or insight, yeah. 8.
8. He seems to be above board. He looks. I mean, his long elven ears actually have. The left one has several rings on it. It looks like probably 5 or 6 that go quite a ways up the side. He has his own tattoos. You can see coming out under his shirt. You can see coming up onto his neck on both sides and the back. Looks pretty relaxed in here though, and he just looks like he runs the place. This is
I guess since I can't find any find out about the potions, I guess I'm gonna ask him about the tattoos.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not real familiar with magical tattoos.
Well, yeah, I infuse the ink with different herbs, sometimes different minerals, occasionally gemstones, things like that, depending on what you're looking for. We can make you stronger, we can make you faster, we can make you more intelligent, more thoughtful. That's always a good one. We can make you more likable. That's a very popular one around here.
Am I in the shop?
We can make you harder to hit. That's a very fun one. And yeah, I'm assuming.
Can you get multiple?
Just because. I mean, if you got the coin, I'll do as many as you want, as long as you got the skin, of course.
How much is your going rate?
I mean, for a basic magical tattoo that's going to give you a little bump, which you take to be like a +1 to something.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you 200-300 gold, depending on what bump it is.
I thought it was going to be something extravagant.
No, well, if you want one of the more extravagant ones, if you want like a bigger bump, that's going to be more like 1,000 gold.
Don't even.
Like a +1 to something will cost you about 300 gold. A +2 will cost you 1,000 gold. You can, but from the sound of it, you could also do AC.
You
could even make you really good at things. You could even get a lift to a proficiency bonus with the next cashier.
So while I'm thinking this over,
yeah.
Anybody interested in getting some tattoos while we're here?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
And please, this isn't just about the magic. Take a look. If you like my art, I can do several different styles. Looking up, he does. He seems to favor some tribal styles, but there's also some stuff that looks kind of Art Deco on the wall, and some more traditional, like heart with an arrow through it kind of stuff.
Yeah, Roland would like to get one that would make him harder to hit.
All right.
Or at least
how much harder do you want to be to hit? Like 300 gold or 1,000 gold?
300 gold.
All right. Well, if you'll mark down that you spent it.
Yeah.
Give me a sec here. And then mark up +1 to your AC.
Cool.
I guess that would be your base AC, whatever.
And also,
so even if you're naked.
Yeah, exactly. It's to your base AC, which brings your AC up to 18 now, I believe.
You know what? This is bad because my head's not functioning.
That's okay. I marked it in here.
Cool.
Let me see.
Armor class. Yeah.
Armor class. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
So, and what do you think you would want as a tattoo? Because if you're gonna get a tattoo,
definitely tribal.
Okay. Like, do you want an armband or?
Oh yeah, let's get
a tribal dung beetle.
Dung beetle.
No.
One of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly the kind of thing I was thinking.
Yeah. All the way.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you get this nice shoulder piece.
Cool.
Wait, left or right shoulder? What do you think?
Right.
All right. So the right shoulder piece kind of comes up, and these nice curving lines come into nice points. And it's a little bit different than maybe we think of tribal here, because being a wood elf, it's maybe literally something from his tribe, but it's very this kind of flowing pattern that kind of weaves in and out a bit. And,
cool. And
you immediately just feel like a little tougher, just because you got a tattoo,
Yeah.
It takes a little bit though, and as Roland is getting a tattoo, anybody else?
The irony of this is, how do you know for sure?
They would have to shave you.
Well, either way, I could tell. Imagine just giving somebody a tattoo. Yeah, now you're invulnerable.
Yeah, but
go out there and
cover yourself from head to toe in AC tattoos and never be hitting you.
If you got enough,
it's just a tattoo.
You guys get one right here.
This is totally in mind
I need to
blowing
get
because
into
his
content,
wisdom is a
so.
negative one, so I don't think he'd actually stop and say, I want proof.
Well, and in talking to him, you soon realize that it isn't quite like that. You couldn't just get small AC tattoos all over your body. Like once you have one AC tattoo, you could upgrade it and expand it into a half sleeve of 2 AC. But past that, like the magic has a limit here.
Yeah.
I mean,
But you could upgrade a lot of things.
I'll
Anything
get
with
one,
a number.
but all
You
my
could,
stats are even, and
you could make yourself better at jumping over things. You could make yourself better at flipping around in the air. You could,
I thought
you got a
about
list
it.
of this stuff.
anything that has a number in your character sheet,
Hmm.
you could get a bonus to.
Do you need a loan?
Yeah.
Wait, you maybe your arm upgrade or something?
Yeah.
You spent a bunch of
Yeah.
on something
I
recently.
think so.
That's right. You got the. What did you? You got the crossbow put onto your arm.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
So
Okay, I need to add that to the item actually.
I'm gonna get 2 tattoos.
Okay.
I want the +1 AC, and is there one for charisma?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want the +1 charisma as well.
Okay.
So that's what
600 gold. I mean, that's his rate. You could always try to talk him down if you want, but he's
No, I'm fine
know
with
his
that.
work.
After witnessing the work on rolling,
Like it's nice.
I'm happy with that price.
I just rolled instead of adding to your thing. Okay.
I would have upped Roland's wisdom score, but he just doesn't realize he has no wisdom. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because I can't do anything Constitution based.
Because you're already maxed out. Or-
No, because I have Amulet of Health, so it locks it at 19 no matter what.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have done Constitution. So we'll just go with a little bit harder to hit.
Okay. All right. So, anybody else? Anything? You would? And we're here. There is the 520 platinum that's in the bag of holding.
Yeah.
That's party money, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
my
So the-
platinum
Money
is-
for a party?
Yeah, party
Yeah.
money.
Like it's party money and it's also party money. So there is money for anybody to do just about anything they want, if you'd like to.
Let's have our party in another town.
You should get game tattoos, you guys.
Oh,
Seriously,
I don't.
yeah.
I'll have to think about
You
the
don't have a name
Constitution.
for the
I'll
group.
get
but
Get a
they're-
tattoo with the party money.
What's up?
I'll have to think about what the Constitution tattoo is, but the charisma one is a curling snake around my left ear.
Love.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you were
kinda-
gonna,
It goes around the ear and kind of up to the cheekbone.
right. You're getting charisma and con, you said?
Charisma and con.
Okay, because I put it in your AC instead. Here, let's see something.
Oh, you already did it on your end?
Yeah, I put it in the AC, but I know I can't get it out, I don't think.
I figure I'm not even.
No, I can get it out, yeah, I'll just get this.
I figure I'm not even in with.
Are you putting in the...
No, I'm not even with them. I figure I'll just hang out in kind of like the town square where people move through and perform, try to boost their morale,
I don't know how much that would cost, but that's what it
tell
would take to
stories,
Yeah,
sing
now my
songs
spell-
about people that
notch, which
My
is
spell-
already like
DC is higher now.
hope use that with your strength. That'd be cool. But yeah, if
My
you
dex.
This is
if
true.
you got +1 to Dex, that would also I think increase your AC by 1.
Imagine a
I'm
person
not sure if
just
it would or
run
not.
around with a
just because
swarm of
I don't know if your
ion
AC
stones.
is. There's a ceiling to it.
Strong
with your
wind blows them all
abilities and stuff. But that would have more benefits than just getting a +1 to your AC. If you could do it like that.
Yeah.
Rolling things. Okay.
Or you could get, like you said, just something else like your
Nah.
your speed or your
I'm already
Jump.
fast.
jumping height.
I've already got boots.
True.
Anybody else?
I think I'm probably not gonna get a tattoo, but maybe buy
Nothing?
buy some reagents for my
Yeah.
let's see, I've got
But
What are you
first,
looking
let
for?
me get a tattoo.
Yeah.
You think about what you're doing. I want to get a Dex increase tattoo.
Dex.
I heard something way different. I heard something different.
What?
Is Chester here? Is it going to...
I would like my dexterity to increase, please.
I was like, I don't see that on my character sheet, but
Can I get
and
one
plus
of those
one
as
ain't
well?
enough.
I mean, all right, you're a Dex. What's your tattoo looking like?
I want it to be a warhorse and say triple stamp in honor of.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those in honor
And I
of
want it on
tattoos.
my lower back.
It says "In Memoriam" and on a little banner under it. And there's just a warhorse rearing up.
Yep.
And some tribal.
No.
Okay.
Is there a bank around where I could get a little of my own?
I mean, there's some places around. This is a big enough town.
Yeah. Because
Well
that
connected.
promissory
Because they
note
should
had
have been
been
a
carried
tombstone
around
'cause
since we
it
had that
dead.
fight, the gladiator battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much of it do you want to cash out?
For teleportation.
I get 300 gold out.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna
I
get
didn't know if I
a
should stock
charisma
up on some
tattoo
more.
also.
I mean,
I mean, if they
Okay.
got it here.
I still have enough to do it 2 more times. And I was also gonna get some for.
Oops, I did not mean to do that.
How many gold going to a platinum is it?
Why is
One
it so
gold,
easy to
one platinum is
execute?
10 gold.
Thought so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you
I'm glad I asked you. I thought it was 100.
So yeah, taking out some, you're able to use it to get yourself a charisma tattoo as well. Because you already did your AC,
Yeah.
which is doing pretty well now.
So
give a
how do
plus
I
on the
take
charisma.
money out of the party?
I guess you asked me since it's on my.
Can I please have $300?
Sure.
I mean, gold.
Yeah. There you
300
go.
gold pieces.
Yes. And in a minute I will figure out how much.
Okay.
All right.
Your charisma has gone up,
Cool.
which means your deception, your persuasion, everything.
By 1 point.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay. In the meantime,
I'd like to see if they have what is it called?
don't know.
I need like some charcoal, incense, and herbs for a find familiar spell.
How much you need?
About 10 gold pieces worth.
In this place, I mean, that stuff you could definitely do easily.
Yeah, it's not like
It's not
great charcoal and
No. This is easy stuff to find. Even in this shop, you can find it.
Let's hope you can get the
Yeah,
material.
so
if you'll mark off
First level spell.
10 gold, you're gonna get yourself a familiar.
yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Here's awesome.
Are you gonna make it a constant thing, or
Well, we lost the party's familiar.
Oh,
I
wait.
was thinking.
Yeah.
the
We
party's
did.
familiar?
The owl.
Well,
Yeah, it
yeah. Casilda,
Oh yeah, Casilda was the party's familiar.
you know, and I thought that I might step
The
in
metal child just
And-
shifts behind you, kind of.
and fill that role.
Be sure to take 3 levels in Warlock too, so you get the thing where you don't have to sleep.
Nah, it's much more interesting if everybody has to sleep a bit.
Yeah, and let's see. So yeah, 10 gold. And you guys think I need?
No.
That's what I was thinking.
Wait, what? I'm sorry.
Oh, I just
Lysander.
my special inks and
Just
things
playing around
for
town,
teleportation
Brighten
circles.
people's moods, you're able to
Have
make
enough
5
for
gold.
2 more uses.
If they have
I figure
it
it
here,
Better to have it and not need it than need it and
I'm
not
pretty
have
sure
it.
he's got it.
Everybody in this town's a little bit depressed right
I was about to say
Yeah,
the
well.
the description of what it is sounds like the
I mean,
exact
I did it
things he
just to
uses
help
for
out.
magic tattoos, like inks that are infused with
Yeah.
gems.
They appreciate
Now
it.
would be a good place.
So I get
Done.
what, like 1 more?
I know.
Figure as long as we have 1 use of it, we can get somewhere.
Yeah.
Just do it.
All right. So we got that. We got some tattoos. Everybody's looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You got your trample stamp. You know, might still be alive. You've never gone back to the Emerald Outpost.
We could always at some point try
That should be a
scrying
We should
it,
go try to find
or
out.
you know,
That's
or
true. Everybody has scrying.
asking Ayun
Mm.
or some type of scrying. We could like
Is my horse still alive?
Ayun would be like, yes.
Always inquire, dear God, where's my old horse?
Dun dun.
Have you seen my horse?
Dude, where's my horse?
Classic. You guys that sweet
And
tattoos.
you just got tattoos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dude, Where's My Car might be a perfect movie. Like, not a good film, but a perfect movie. Much like Josie and the
It's a
Pussycats.
llama.
Yeah.
I love that part.
There's a lot of that movie.
It was an ostrich, but he called it a
Yeah,
llama.
llama. Yeah. It's a good movie.
I do not.
It's not a good movie. It's a perfect.
No, it's a smoke weed and watch it.
I think that's why I don't remember much of it.
It's a certain genre of movie, all of which were in the late '90s through early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Spice World.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've never
Granny.
seen that.
Watch Spice World. Josie and the Pussycats, Spice World, Dude, Where's My Car? To some degree, Starship Troopers.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
I
that
love
that's a
Starship
cult
Troopers.
classic.
I love.
I'm
Starship
always gonna
Troopers.
watch that.
It's amazing.
I didn't get that movie when I watched it originally. I didn't fully understand
I didn't either.
the satire or parody that's like.
You didn't get the part where they're like squishing bugs and
Well, I mean, I just
everybody do their
Well, it's
part.
like parody and satire, but at the same time, it's also like it goes beyond that somehow. Like it takes itself so seriously.
I think when I first watched it, I don't remember how old I was. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I was pretty young and wasn't really. I don't know. I enjoy I guess that's attesting to the fact that you can just enjoy it as like an action movie where they're killing aliens, and I was totally fine with that.
As a self-contained movie, it without trying to break it down,
Yeah.
it's hella entertaining.
It just went. Wait a minute.
Like I remember being really excited seeing the previews for it because in the trailer they used Song 2 from Blur,
Yeah.
and I was like really into it.
Oh, what a strange song.
I know, right? Anyway, now that rabbit trail's over, what are we doing?
I'm ready to head out of town.
yeah, I think we should get out of town
Okay.
before
Get
nightfall.
our reagents.
Rage.
Y'all seem
Are
different.
you going into a raid?
Are you sure you don't want a tattoo?
Plus, I don't really have the gold. I don't feel like shaving myself.
And you didn't earn our party money, so you didn't have any.
Yeah.
I don't even know it's there.
Nope.
I mean, you're kind of the new guy. You gotta.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think we should get out of town.
Did you get
before
your
dark.
inks?
No, I didn't. I got the stuff for the incense and the charcoal and stuff, but I figured I got 2 uses left of teleportation circle, so
Awesome.
Okay.
Onward. Anybody else?
Onward out of town.
I'm grabbing the cart.
Yeah.
Oh.
You all have 2 horses and a cart right now once again, because of some shrewd purchases made. But
Just because I got short legs and I'm really tired of just walking everywhere.
gonna take 2
We never
strides to
thought
every
to do
one of most every.
We had horses
people's.
one time.
Like this armor gets heavy.
Yeah.
It's true. It does.
If I'd had my way, we would have had war cats, but I couldn't find any.
I mean, they're around.
I'd choose
Yeah.
an elephant, but
No, war cats were in Seagull and they were cool as fuck.
There are places that you can buy them in Exandria.
Oh, cool.
You're not finding them anywhere local to here. Anyway, kind of bumping along out of town. You through the rest of the day, you're going through the beginnings of the Morningside countryside. The marshes kind of falling behind you. These rolling hills, the occasional stand-up trees. You see shepherds out with their flocks. The occasional little cottage or even shack sometimes. It's a nice looking place, very wild. Not especially civilized, but every once in a while just that little reminder of civilization. You see somebody. And the track here, it's rutted, but it's well worn enough that you're able to travel fairly quickly. Still, you don't make it to another village for this entire day, and you end up coming to sundown and having to post up for the night.
I'll take middle watch.
All right. Yeah, we actually have to do watches now because there's not a Surface to watch out all night.
I'll
So-
do first watch.
First watch, middle watch. Who wants to take a third watch?
I will.
Okay. Over the course of the night, roll a perception check for each of your watches. And also let me know anything else anybody would like to do before settling down for a long rest.
Live.
Alright, what do we got?
Live.
11.
What are we doing? Perception check.
Perception check.
I'm gonna find some mud and take a mud bath.
It's easy enough to find mud here. Like, it's still, you're out of the marshes, but there's still quite a few springs and hillsides and things. So you can totally just stripping down out of the plate mail and jumping into some mud.
Yep.
I'm
diving headfirst into it.
You know, I don't remember this from before, but Gundar seems to be kind of a lush now. Look at him over there. He's got some cucumber slices on his eyes.
Oh, not that kind of like, not a spa treatment. Like I'm a dwarf and I'm glad to be up
rolling
the
in
earth.
mud.
I'm like a little pig.
I see.
Like, and even like it's spring now, and you're even going south in Exandria, so it's fairly warm. Over the course of the day, the mud is warmed up, and it's nice and it's a good feeling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As it dries out on your skin, it kind of like
Holds the moisture in.
holds the moisture and like sucks like any just bad stuff out of your, you know, like you, rejuvenates. You know, people really should pay more attention to dwarven skincare regimens.
I got a 13.
You got a 13, and you had an 11. What did Chomp get? Is Chomp finding it familiar, or?
No, not yet. He's been trying to decide on what form it should take.
A newt.
Who knows who it might be?
I got a 12 perception.
Okay. You had second watch.
Yeah.
Crom, over first watch, it's a nice enough country. As the sun has gone down, everybody has eaten some of their store foods and kind of bedded down inside the dome, I'm guessing, that you put up. Probably.
Put up the dome?
Oh yeah.
I just assume, but
Oh yeah, where are we? Are we just in the wilderness?
you're just in the wilderness. The Morningside countryside is mostly these rolling hills, the occasional copse of trees, but mostly meadows. Great for grazing. In fact, that's the little bits of civilization you see. That's what they're doing. You see some grazing cattle, you see some large herds of grazing sheep. But here, where you bed down for the night, you don't see much of that. A little bit into your watch, you hear some wolves howling off maybe a few hills away, but you never see them. Yeah, and as your shift ends and rollings begins, you don't need to sleep a lot during the night, so you keep a kind of half eye out most of the time, but on your shift, you are definitely trying to watch out. You don't see a lot going on. And as it moves on to Chomp's watch, the late night, early morning, you find yourself waking up fairly rested. Roland passes down that nothing seems to have happened during the night. But you, upon waking, just feel disquieted in general. The dreams you had that you can only half remember. I mean, dreams of just spiders and shadows reaching out to strangle you, things like that.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you can hazard a guess as to why you're having dreams like this, and eventually you may have to deal with it. But for now, having gotten rid of, or maybe not even intentionally, but no longer having the gem, and having not seen a creepy spider in a while, you kind of shake it off and continue your watch. Eventually the sun comes up. And a new day begins. You all begin your travel again. First off, Gunnar, of course, scrapes all the dried mud off of him and puts, having slept naked, puts his plate mail back on. I mean, to be fair, his skin looks good.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the local minerals, but it's a nice area here. Over the course of the day, trotting along in your cart, you're able to make fairly good time until late in the afternoon. You get to the next village. You had known a bit from Roland, who has, in his youth, kind of explored this part of the world. But this is a village called Wakefield.
So, learning my lesson from the previous village, I'm going to cast Detect Good and Evil.
Okay.
Before we actually get into the...
That may or may not have helped you in the last village, but, I mean, it's never a bad idea. So, as you come into this village, it's much smaller than Byrodon. This is more of one of the outlying villages a ways off. There's maybe a couple hundred people who live here. There's a single inn with the small stables, a blacksmith. It looks like there's a persistent small market in the middle of town that has a few stalls open selling some early spring vegetables, as well as some of the more overwinter vegetables. There's, some cabbages and greens and things like that being sold, as well as some rather dry-looking turnips. But you don't detect anything with Detect Good or Evil. It's late enough in the day. You could keep going on, or you could stay here in a much more comfortable bed. It's up to you. It's probably 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
We could also ask,
Yeah.
get some more.
So what
See if
happens
they've
tonight?
seen any.
We're all gonna be killed in our sleep.
Yeah, because this place looks pretty quiet. I take it like there's not. It doesn't look like something crazy happened here. There's not like burned down buildings, or it just looks like a.
Make a perception check. See what you see. You don't immediately, just upon cursory glance, see anything. But
Did the last town have that?
you caught in the last town that everybody just looked like they hadn't got enough sleep, and they all were kind of looking at you side eye.
Is it perception?
Bless you.
Thank you. Excuse me.
7.
7. With a 7, I mean, you don't catch the same kind of things you saw in
do
the last
not
town.
percept anything.
You don't catch the same things you had seen in the last town, and it seems like a cheery enough place.
You don't even see the town.
It's beginning. It's spring has actually sprung here now, as you've gone through the winter and most of the rest of your travels, and now it's actually starting to warm up. People seem fairly chipper. Yeah.
I say we keep going. If we're trying to catch up with that group, and we're
That's a
like
good
4 days
point.
behind.
I mean, we can push the horses. We only got to stop them every couple hours.
Yeah, you could push through. If you all don't sleep, you're going to suffer a point of exhaustion.
Well, I mean, we do have a cart. You maybe catch a nap in the cart
Interesting.
and rotate.
I'd
And
say
only stop when the
for a short
horses
rest.
need it.
there's if you're going to nap in the cart, there's less room for everybody, so some people would have to walk. But you could do it in the shifts if you wanted to.
And we'd only ever have to really stop to feed and water and give the horses a break.
I want to make everybody to make a fairly lowish constitution check, just to see how well they sleep in the cart.
I mean, if that's what y'all want to do, I'm just making a suggestion.
We
What,
can find somewhere to sleep. It don't matter.
Do we know? Do we have a map or anything? Do we know like?
There you go.
Yes. Do we know like
So,
what is next on the road? Like if we.
so Byrodon is here. You are somewhere in the Morningside countryside in here before you get to the Riffin Mist jungle, which is the last thing before you are actually in the Iron Authority. The Riffin Mist jungle is a tangle of nearly impassable trees, vines, swamps, rumored lost cities, tribes of wood elves, tribes of other things. But right now you're in the countryside, which is kind of a half-civilized area.
Well, let's at least go in and ask. Maybe
You have at least a
look
few days
around,
until you're to
see if they
the
see
jungle.
anybody traveling through.
I mean, like I said, there's one inn/tavern in town.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, let's pop
Yeah.
in and just be like, you guys seen anybody all in yellow about this high?
No, that's not what we said.
And you're like up on your tippy toes, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, that's all.
walking in the late afternoon. There's not a lot of people in this little tavern, but there's a human bartender behind a short bar. 4 or 5 tables. Looks like they're made of upended barrels with planks put over the top as a kind of tabletop, and some stools around them and things like that. It looks like it's not a especially nice bar as you've been in some places, but it's serviceable. The human man at the back of the bar nods to you as you come in. He says, "Hey, what can I do for you?"
1 ale, please.
They can do that. It'll be 5 copper.
Roland, aren't you good at talking to people?
He thinks he is.
I mean, you just upped your charisma.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask him what they do around here at night for entertainment.
Okay.
As he's handing the ale to Crom, he kind of nods at it. And some of this, some music.
Anything else like fighting, wrestling?
The wrestling, I mean, during the festivals,
Mm-hmm.
there's definitely some wrestling that goes on, but there's not much that goes around here.
So it's a quiet town at night.
Barely. Yes.
Okay.
Have y'all seen any weird people around?
Weird people.
Yeah.
Strangers.
Like a large group of people.
I mean, not coming through here. What did they look like?
Lots of yellow.
Yeah.
Is that what they were?
Is there a way to detour
As
around the town?
Gundar says lots of yellow, his face kind of freezes and he kind of frowns at you and says, it's funny. I had a dream last night. It was a man in yellow.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what it was. I woke up in just sweating everywhere, but I had almost forgotten about it until you said that. You said you're looking for one. I mean, nobody's been here in town, but he just seems kind of shaken by the whole thing. Kind of shakes his head and throws it off. Would any of the rest of you like a drink, or just you?
I'm gonna chug it. It's good.
How's the ale?
It's
Good.
fine.
Good.
I mean, it's a nice ale, a little hoppy. But
Yeah, I'll take an ale. For what, 3 copper?
they're charging 5 copper for it.
5 copper? Yeah, I'll take an ale.
It's nice. It's Pilsner, really. Dry hopped. Really nice, not too bitter. It's good.
So, did we?
I only say that because that's what I'm drinking right now. Anyway.
Yeah, looking around the room. It tastes like
Like,
sort of.
what does this say on the side?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know we've heard of this whole dreaming of the
Yes,
man in yellow, like affecting some dreams.
it's affected some of your dreams.
Yeah.
And this is not the first village you've come across where they hadn't seen anybody, but they had dreams going on.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Did the dreams like foretell his coming, or is that just like an area of effect that he just seems to be
I mean, it could
causing
be.
these dreams?
Would you like to make some kind of check to decide that?
What?
Because you remember having dreams about a vague man in a yellow robe on a mountaintop with lightning, and it was very ominous. You also remember at least 1 or 2 of the villages now that you've been to, now 2 or 3, have had complaints about dreams of a man in yellow.
So he probably came to here.
And of course, then there's the towns that saw a man in yellow and then had terrible, terrible things happen.
He might have taken the bypass.
Yeah, if it's real small town, he might have just like.
That's true.
I mean, the road you're on also winds a bit. It's not straight. So if he's just cutting through the countryside with his
Are we
large group of
sleeping?
people. Are you sleeping here? Or
Or we.
you have a few out. It's spring. You
We
have
just-
2 or 3 hours until sundown yet that you could still travel.
We get incoming.
What do you think,
I,
Lysander?
What?
I don't know. What do you think?
I was just wondering what that noise was.
I mean, the noise seems to be like slowly as y'all are in here, dirt seems to kind of slowly fall off Gundar until you're strangely very clean after having bathed in mud. It seems more clean than usual, even. And you're not sure why.
Do I notice it?
I mean, what's your passive perception?
Good question. 14 maybe?
Yeah, I'd say you notice it. Yes, you notice it. You notice it happening, like, just strangely, like, literal patches of some of the mud that was left just kind of dropping away, and you're like, what? Yeah.
Can I do a nature check?
Go for it.
Clean mud. Stick.
13.
13 nature check. It's definitely not natural. Whatever's happening, like, it seems to be supernatural in some, or arcane in some way.
What is the mud?
So
The mud, the little patches of mud that are left on his body after bathing in mud the night before, seem to be dropping away, and he's now entirely clean.
So I guess I find the biggest chunk that fell off of me, and no, I'm like, does this seem unnatural to y'all? Because I'm not supposed to be this clean.
I mean,
That wasn't my goal. I
this,
feel nasty now.
This mud was just some mud out beside our campsite, right?
I don't want to.
I assumed that it was.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing
You want
about no
to? You want
mud.
to check it
I don't
out?
want to speak for anybody else, but to me, the mud ain't weird. Jumping in mud is weird.
Mud that makes you cleaner.
I don't know.
What
What are y'all doing in the meantime?
Let's go to bed. And
We
then,
can, you know, we
You wanna
can
stay
go
here?
back
You
in the
wanna-
mud,
you want to
get
stay
tired.
here?
yeah,
I mean, our other option is to
might as well.
become exhausted and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and set up camp like
when you put it
down
like
the
that.
road.
Yeah, let's take it out.
Yeah.
Sleeping.
I guess if that. I was gonna say we should just
No,
Carry
let's
on,
take
but-
it. Let's sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep.
You know, you do your best when you're well rested.
Sleep.
yeah. I guess we can.
Sleep it is.
Yeah. Hey, I asked the bartender about maybe some rooms.
Yeah, I mean, they're like 1 silver a night for a room here. There's not many. There's only 4 rooms on the second level. This is the highest building in town, and it's 2 stories. But they're all empty at the moment. So,
Cool.
if you'd like to, how many rooms do you want?
We're roomies.
We could do 2 rooms and 3 to a room, but with the middle child.
We'll take middle
Mostly
child.
just stands in the corner and stares kind of creepily. But yes,
Adopt him.
Hmm.
We're adopting
his
him.
eyes kind of glow at night. It's
Oh, he can talk now too.
he can.
Forgot about that.
Who do you want to go with, buddy?
I say we get 2 rooms.
Yeah.
We'll take.
He doesn't say
2
anything,
rooms.
but he just points at you.
Sounds good.
For 2 silver, you all find rooms for the night.
We take that out of party money.
Yeah, I was about to say, you want me to take that out of the party fund?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works.
If anybody wants to.
I'm still weirded out.
I need to
by
put
the
that into
mud.
a spreadsheet still.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. It doesn't, like, it happened around the time that you were asking about, like, that Chomp was asking about the King in Yellow. Not exactly, and you're not sure if it's connected.
This is not what I wanted.
I know, but you know what?
Shit happens.
See, they have an earthly
Like-
idea that out of
Sometimes
13,000
money
platinum,
falls
like
off,
2
man.
silver would be.
12,999 platinum,
Uh-huh.
9 gold, and 99 silver.
How much was that?
That's
Just
12,000.
round it. To give them more
12,999.
money than they asked for. That's what I do.
Uh-huh.
Just
There you go.
9
That's
gold
what I did.
There are some silvers in the
and
in the
99
bag of
silver.
holding.
Oh, that's right. I was looking at the wrong.
There are
Yeah.
8 silver pieces.
Okay. Oh, cool. Thank you. That was easy, much
So
easier.
just
to do now.
just subtract from the silver pieces.
Yeah, I forget that the mountain.
They're not nice rooms. They have like basically a cot on
Is
the
there
ground.
dirt on the floor?
There's not. They're on the second floor, so they're wooden plank floors. They're clean. They have fresh bedding. It seems to be stuffed with hay.
I don't feel right. Just putting that out there, I feel
like the dirt has been removed.
I feel like a chicken that
like
had its feathers removed.
You are literally as clean as you've ever been, and it's weird.
I don't like it.
I mean, I'm sure they got a barn. You sleep in or something?
I don't know, I guess.
I mean, I'm not uncivilized. I sleep in rooms. I just don't like.
Well, I mean, dirty. What I mean.
It's about the mud.
I'm a dwarf. I need a certain amount of dirt to bolster my constitution.
It's more about the principle of the thing than it is about.
So,
how do you think we
You
live
need
in?
to earn your dirt.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Yeah,
had
you
rolled
have
in
to
mud.
earn. That's not earning dirt. You need to work your dirt.
When you were up and coming, you got paid in dirt. You loved it.
I guess like.
How do you think we live and operate underground so greatly?
Before I bed down for the night, I'm going to maybe consult any magic books I have and just maybe ponder on my own arcane knowledge of this mud effect, and either if I can think of a possible cause or think of possibly what it means. Like, is it just as far as he's clean now that the mud came off, or is there some other effect? Or I guess an Arcana check.
Yeah, make an Arcana check. See if
Yeah, while he's doing that, I'm gonna take the mud and I'm gonna like put it on a rusty like piece of metal.
Okay.
And just leave it there. I'll come back to it in the morning.
Okay. So there's quite a bit of it. Like there's a good amount of it, and you can just put it kind of.
I put it in a pouch, like I'm carrying it.
Yeah.
And I take some out and I just put it on a rusty piece of metal.
Because you would kind of brushed yourself off.
I'm
but
very
there's been
curious.
a good amount left. What did you have for your Arcana check?
17.
With a 17, you realize that your new friend, Lysander, who is fairly fastidious, had used a cantrip to clean the dwarf off.
That's better than I was thinking.
It had nothing to do with the Yellow King or anything of the mystery. It's just
a weird
that
side effect of the Yellow King, huh?
he likes being clean, and he was going to have to stay in a room with him. So he was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah. It's like a pretty basic cantrip.
At the same time, Gundar doesn't necessarily notice this. No. Notice that it came off, but doesn't know who did it. So
I guess I
That's a dig move.
I guess if we
he's a cat.
My dirt.
He's literally a cat.
That's like
so he doesn't know that.
That's like my
He doesn't
protective
know
layer.
that. Okay. Chomp, upon mulling it over, kind of sitting in bed on the
Perhaps it was just
like,
a cantrip.
oh, wait a minute. Oh, crap.
I've seen this before.
And then just starts laughing at him.
Yeah. I have a good hearty chuckle about it, and am thinking like in the morning if Gundar like says if it ever comes up again, or at some point I'm gonna be giving Lysander like the wink.
Okay.
Don't snitch, though.
Oh no, I'm not gonna say any. I'm not gonna tell Gundar. I'm not gonna say anything about it. But I'm just gonna be like,
It's funnier that way.
Okay, so is there anything anybody else wants to do before bed?
Should we push furniture across the door just in case? You know,
Yeah,
even
you
though they
can.
look well rested.
I was
maybe-
There's not a
say-
lot of furniture in these rooms.
Yeah.
I'm not
There's
worried.
like a small desk and a chair to one side, and a single cot. Although they've laid out some other blankets and
When did the last
hay
time,
mattresses.
When did the
straw
last time
mattresses.
happen? Around what time?
The last time what?
The last event.
Sundown.
Oh yeah, so we'll probably
Was
still
it
be
sundown?
drinking.
The event, it happened at sundown.
At
yeah.
sundown?
Yes.
Jesus.
But yeah, we don't need to put.
You
Stuff
came
across
into town here a bit before sundown, like a few hours before
Yeah.
sundown.
Well, I was going to say I was going to perform some, but
You can.
head to bed before around the time that happened, but that's pretty
Yeah.
early. So
I mean, you came in late afternoon, right as there weren't a lot of people in, but as the crowd started growing, So you could, if you want to perform.
Yeah, I'll do some performance. I'll try to boost people's morale, and I got a little silly joke about dirty dwarves and whatnot.
Okay. Having bought a room, you're provided a simple dinner with it of a stew and some bread. And you all are sitting around as eventually the sun starts to go down. More people start to pour into this small common room. In fact, it's pretty packed at one point, and Lysander gets up and starts performing with his lute. And these make a performance check. Let's see how good you do.
There's my performance. Stop. 15. What is that? 36.
Wow.
15
It
plus
is
11.
one of the best performances you have ever seen. Just like, he begins with Stairway to Heaven, and it is, you swear there was a whole band backing him.
I think you should switch over.
But tells some jokes. At one point tells a joke about a dirty dwarf, and it even just flies over your head for a second before you realize, like, wait, what?
Does that mean that?
But it continues
Even
on.
Gundar laughs at it.
Even Gundar laughs at it.
He's like,
still.
Are you going to sing Dirty Dwarves
Like-
and Dirt Sheet?
There you go.
You don't think of it now, but in the morning you may think of it. Depending on how much of each of you want to drink,
When he's alone, he's gonna be laughing.
please mark a few silver off or something like that. It's a nice night, and it's actually enjoyable. This is not a cursed town.
That's good.
The sun goes down, and the people don't try to kill you. Everybody seems they're very of the earth, but they're a couple ales in, and they're having fun. They're singing along with a few of the songs anyway that Lysander sings, because being from Sigil, you knew songs from just about every realm, and you were trying to
Always making
play to
that's
your
the whole
audience.
point of traveling and
Yeah.
all that stuff is to get more material and whatnot.
You make even from this poor town, you make another 6 gold in tips.
You just bankrupted this town.
Basically, like, they are fairly tipsy and just throwing coppers at you, and
They're confusing copper and gold. Like,
none of them have any gold. There's a few silver. You make that much gold in coppers.
Nice. I'm gonna have to exchange this
Like
before we leave.
600 coppers. Just this mound of coppers with a few silvers thrown in. Yeah. Your bag is fairly weighty the next morning. Anyway, you all fall asleep. The next morning, you all wake up. Gunnar, there's this little bug in the back of your head, just kind of like, I told that joke last night. But you don't quite know that he was going to get it, but you're like, the joke kind of makes you angry a little bit. Like, you remember that part, for sure. What do y'all want to do? You made pretty good time the day before, but you did stop in the afternoon.
Yeah, I say
Let's go.
we head down the road. This town seems nice, and longer we stay
Not our
here.
style.
Heading down the road.
But before we go, or on our way out, I need to find a brass brazier to burn my charcoal and incense and herbs. I don't know how specific it needs to be. It just says that they must be consumed by fire in a brass brazier. I don't know if that's just like one of those just sitting outside of a building somewhere. Or...
I don't think it has to be a big one either.
There is
Yeah.
the night before you saw
Or if I have one in my alchemy kit or something.
the few people who had been drinking wine the night before had been drinking them out of these kind of brassy chalices. And you figure you might be able to use one of those.
Is there a church around? They might have one. I'll be glad to try to steal you one.
There is a generic temple in this town
Well,
with
stealing
several
from the
idols
church does appeal
fancy
to
where
night.
people have
Steal it
left
from-
offerings and things like that.
Uh-huh.
You don't see a brazier in there.
Okay.
But there is, like I said, a couple brass chalices that were used by the bar that you could do within a pinch, probably.
Yeah.
They're made of brass, and you could burn something in them.
Cool.
How's the weather this morning?
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, there's a few clouds in the sky, but
Really
it's
sunny.
spring, sunny. As it's a little bit overcast, but as the sun comes up, it kind of burns off, and
No rain.
no
Yeah,
rain.
I'm gonna be like walking around with like a blanket around me,
Okay,
cause
They smart.
you don't have the dirt.
I'm very
No.
fair skinned.
Yeah,
and,
you don't have
like,
any
I'm gonna get
sunscreen on.
blistered really
Yeah.
bad. There is a reason for the layer of dirt.
And you put your plate, but even the exposed parts, you're like,
Sounds and voices.
you all see Gundar come out, just wrapped this huge form, kind of almost hunchbacked with the plate mail on and everything, just looking around.
Is that your blankie?
The sun hurts. I
I
don't
haven't
know.
decided on a name
It
yet.
hurts us, precious.
I'm too clean.
I'm glad you're.
The
I
bright
mean,
face. it
You can
hurts us.
tell me truly that is your blankie.
so
You don't have to like rationalize.
Oh, it's my blanket
So
of death.
So bring in your reagents
No.
to flame in this brass chalice that you're using as a brazier. What are you
oh
summoning?
I mean, do whatever.
so yeah, it's gonna be a ritual. So it's gonna take me like an hour and 10 minutes, maybe just like over breakfast or while we're
Okay.
before everybody leaves.
Fair enough.
I think we all know what I'm doing. I'm looking for somewhere to get dirty.
Go ahead.
I mean, while he's doing this, if you want to walk out of town more than about a quarter mile, you can find mud easy enough. Just on the side of a small stream going, there's this little
What are you gonna do?
kind of pool that forms
Ooh, look at Raven.
with kind of an eddy in it, and there's
And
mud
then
on the side. And you
Sakilda.
just all over.
No.
I hadn't decided on a name yet.
What is happening?
So I'm
He's
going.
mocking my owl.
I was gonna name my familiar Sakilda, but that's not set in stone. I haven't named it yet.
What are you summoning?
I'm going to call up a raven
Classic.
and familiar has to do.
As the smoke kind of raises from this chalice, those of you who stick around, Gundar, you went off to find some mud, but those of you who stuck around for breakfast see this happening, and in the smoke, the form almost of kind of wings appears, and there's suddenly there's a raven just flapping there, and it settles down on the table and kind of flaps its wings and caws once at Chomp.
And I guess I want it to be a fae. I think that fits sort of mischievous.
Yeah, it winks once at you as it caws.
And maybe have I could
No, go
flavor it all day long.
Flavor it.
So
That's what this is about, right?
yeah, maybe have it be.
What is
Dude, you should totally get an owl like that, make it look like the dude from Clash of Titans.
Well, no, it is gonna be. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Like one of the skeletons.
It's got to be a raven, and to have like sort of half clockwork looking. Like it's got one feathered wing and.
It's like one natural
kinda
side to the
steampunk?
body and like
Yeah, not necessarily like exactly half and half, but just like maybe
It's steampunk.
Borgy.
1/4 of the kind of like
it's a
the
steampunk
Borg.
board raven.
Yep.
Yeah, like it's got
Terminator.
feathered, mostly feathered.
Yeah,
I guess mostly feathered, but like clockwork parts showing through in just like random patches. Like 1/4 of the face is maybe like one eye is like a irises.
And as it winks at you, it winks the natural eye, but you all can see like these gears just
Robot chicken.
in the
Yeah.
inside the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robot chicken.
Exactly.
Blast from the past.
Hey guys,
Oh,
hey guys, check it out.
memories.
I got
Mm.
a familiar.
I watched the crap out of this.
Oh, that's where. Yeah. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, they had the Raven King, and that's what I've been sitting over
Yeah.
going nuts about where I'd seen that.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's a good book and a good miniseries
Yeah.
from the BBC. Yeah,
So that's what I thought you were
I don't think
referring
I've
to.
seen that.
I have the book upstairs. I think.
Yeah, I've got the book too, I think.
But the miniseries was very good
Yeah.
and is well acted and
What was it called?
The Raven King.
Doctor
Strange. No, Jonathan
Strange and Dr. Norrell.
Yeah, it was excellent.
It's extremely Victorian, and also like very Fey. Like that's what it deals with is like the mundane and the Fey and magic, and
that's cool.
It's very British.
And I've been sitting here ever since you said that, trying to remember where I had seen the Raven King.
And it's funny because in this world, the Raven Queen is the goddess of death.
Ooh.
But you've run into a few of her followers over time. But she's a good goddess of death, though. She's goddess of the moment of death, like the removal from the material plane. Anyway, anything else anybody wants to do this morning? Bueller.
I'm ready to move on now that I got a protective layer back on.
Okay. Skundar comes up muddy, kind of still a little bit dripping from under the plate mail. Y'all start your day. You get more into the Morningside countryside here. At one point, you think you catch sight of what might be an ogre in the distance, like just on a rockier hilltop. Just a large figure that kind of seems to be watching you with a club in its hand. And it's hard to see, like, perspective how far it is off. But eventually it moves to its mouth, a figure that in its hand it's holding a sheep, and you see that it's, fairly small in its hand, and it just like bites part of it off and then walks down the back of the hill away from you. But it doesn't approach you, so you're doing okay. This is
Anybody want to kill an ogre real quick?
I mean, it's a ways off. It's like a good half mile off.
Anybody want to kill an ogre real quick?
To the south. That's what
It might be fun. Yeah, I'm thinking.
I mean, you've heard stories, Roland especially, of things like even whole villages and towns in the Morningside countryside that have made deals with hill giants or ogres to protect their town.
Oh, yeah.
So this might be one of those.
That's what makes them evil.
Yeah, so either we could really piss off a town, or I can check out my AC and see if it does better.
I mean, you can ask anybody to try to punch you and see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as you know, you're still making time on the King in Yellow or whatever this group is. So keep going.
I vote keep going, but
You never know what a random ogre might be holding on to.
A sheep, apparently.
Well, I don't mean literally. I mean figuratively.
It's true. I mean, it's up to you.
Didn't we run into
Do we
something
ne-
similar?
would-
I'm fine with either way.
Hands up for continuing.
Would
Let's
Roland
go
know
quick.
if there's a village nearby?
1, 2.
Because if he
Continuing or
if he's
killing
familiar with
ogre?
it-
I mean, there's the village you
I
just
mean, it was
left.
just like watching us.
Yeah.
all
It's
day.
probably another
Yeah.
day beyond this one until the next
Okay,
village.
so he might
While
have
we're
been.
traveling,
He
we're
might
like
have been the
in
watch.
We're not
keeper.
going
We're just
Yeah,
making a quick
I'm not
detour,
sure.
kill an ogre, see what he's got, and then keep on going. We're not off on like
Okay,
doing a mission.
hands up for
thing.
continuing on. Hands up for killing the ogre.
Um,
Trump, you're the deciding vote, literally.
just roll for it. Just roll real quick. Do your coin of whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the all or nothing coin.
I don't think that's how that coin works.
Should I? Yeah, maybe if I flip it, it's some battle.
Okay, you're just doing this in real life.
Just
flip the
Just
fucking
flip a
Yeah,
coin
yeah,
in real
yeah.
life. Just do odds and evens.
Right. So
Oh my god, this is taking forever. Yeah.
Snap choice. Snap choice.
a 20.
He
If
can't
it's a-
do that.
If it's a 20, we go after the ogre, and if it's a 1, we continue on.
Oh, did you actually make up a coin?
Yeah, I did.
It's a 1.
I vote that we continue.
The group votes to continue on.
Oh,
Oh,
bummer.
The ogre has walked down the
The
back
coin
of
has
the loose side
spoken.
of it.
I don't know.
Eventually, kind of going over the same hills, this winding road that winds back and forth through the countryside, you don't manage to make it to the next village today. Who would like to take watches tonight?
I'll take first watch.
I'll do
First
the
watch.
middle.
Middle?
As we
I'll take next.
Next. Okay.
I set up
Roll your perception checks.
Lehman's tiny hut,
Okay.
and
Woo!
Your
sweet.
raven, as you're casting it, flies down onto your shoulder. Just clockwork ticking inside of it.
13.
The middle child kind of gives it a look like you're not quite right. 13?
Yeah.
So I think I got mud in my eye. I rolled a 3.
A 3, and you were first watch.
Yeah.
And you were third watch.
Yeah, I got a nat 20, so 26.
Okay. First watch, I mean, there is actually some really good mud near here. Like you find this little spring out of a little hillside nearby, and there's just the right amount of iron and a little bit of copper in it, and like it's just like there's a slight rainbow sheen to the top of it, and you're just like, oh,
Is he sharing the lemon sunny hut with us?
And
Not a lot of room.
during and even after putting that on and coming back to the hut,
I have standards. I'm not stinky.
like
The
it's
mud isn't stinky.
All I can think of is when my dog gets in this one mud puddle at the dog park, she smells terrible, and it smells metallic and weird. And
Smell like wet
that's
dwarf.
why I keep
you do
having
smell a
it.
bit metallic, but in a nice way.
That's all I can think of when I see the mud now. That's a weird smell.
Like there was even a little bit of like lavender bush along the side, and like you do a whole thing. And
The same way you would bathe in water, I
Yeah.
bathe in mud.
yeah,
That's not a thing.
Yeah, I was gonna
For
say.
dwarves, it is.
Oh.
because as he comes back, he smells pretty nice. However, you don't notice a thing.
Perfume.
Like you are just chilled, blissed out, like on your watch. Like
It's been a while
like
since I've
half
had
frost.
fresh mud.
Yeah. Second watch rolling.
Uh-huh.
You also don't see much going on. Like it is a half. Well, the main moon. Oh gosh, I can't remember the moons of Exandria. The main moon of Exandria, Catho, the larger moon, is about half. The smaller moon, Ruidus, is a little bit to the right of it in the sky, and is about a quarter. So it's fairly light out, but not too much. But you don't see a lot. You see the occasional, like you see some movement, and you're like, oh, rabbit, or oh, coyote, or something like that. Late in the night, Crom, looking over, something just is disturbing you. As soon as you're woken up for your shift, and Roland kind of hunkers down for his meditation. You see some random clouds kind of going across the moons, and they just look a little odd, like they look dirty. Like they're not white, they almost look yellowish. Like it's something just worries you the entire third shift here. You don't see anything other than that, but just it seems wrong. But waking in the morning, yeah.
So I have one thing. Was I, for lack of a better word, was Gundar getting naked in view of other people?
I mean, that's up to you.
I was gonna say.
I'm just asking if anybody noticed to see me when I took my armor and clothing off.
I mean, like I said, that's like the mud that you
I mean,
went
I
to.
honestly
was
don't care, but if anybody noticed
If
me,
I start
there
to
are
notice,
things.
I'm gonna stop noticing because I'm pretty mad.
Yeah. I mean, I think if we saw it, we would just kind of like.
You've stripped down at least once with us before, and you did come back like entirely stripped
What's
down.
this?
So they've
I
seen.
mean,
her,
I'm not
they've
trying to
seen
say. I'm not talking about.
just like
I'm not talking about between my legs. There are noticeable things
between the mud.
about
and
Gundar
things.
that that y'all haven't seen before, because I've.
He ain't had nothing I've never
This is up to
seen
you.
before.
Would you want to hide that, or would you come back and?
I've seen it all.
I wouldn't necessarily hide it because I'm not really thinking about it.
I don't think we're necessarily.
And they might have
looking.
seen some.
Yeah.
Okay.
What might they
I
have
would
seen?
kind of avoid.
The scars and tattoo on my chest,
Okay.
and probably my skin color if they pay close enough attention
So
to my skin color.
looking closely, yeah, you see scars, like huge scars across Gundar's chest when he does come back. His skin tends to be, as you've seen from his face, but it goes to the rest of his body, just this pallid, like nearly death-like, just, but not quite, like gray-white color. I don't remember the tattoo exactly. What does the tattoo look like?
The hand.
You see a stylized hand directly in the middle of his chest that is tattooed there.
Dark Brotherhood.
So.
I mean, any of you can make a religion check or any other kind of check if you want, or history check if you want to.
Yeah, because at this point, I'm more worried about getting the mud because it serves two purposes. One, it protects me, and two, it masks my smell, my natural smell.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna.
So I'm more worried about getting the mud because I need it than I am about making sure nobody sees me.
So he comes back smelling of mud and lavender. But
Chomp, I'm gonna wander.
You do see some of this.
Yeah, I'm gonna wander over to you and say, "Did you see that? Could he be dead?"
This is what, like the night before, like as we're settling down in the morning.
Well, I mean, I had first watch, so I imagine I did it when it was still daytime because I had to be ready for first watch.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean,
that's why the only reason why I'm pointing it out is like it would have still been daytime when I did this.
This is fair.
Maybe so. You're saying like,
is he dead?
Who, Gundar?
Yeah, could he be
He
like
looks alive to me?
Dead?
I mean,
Walking Dead.
I wouldn't put it past him.
True.
And I mean, I've got no problem with the dead.
Like, no, I know you don't. But I was just wondering if
I have friends who are dead.
True. We've had Beyonce.
You've had friends who are dead.
Yeah, Beyonce.
Some of my best friends are dead.
At some point, I need to tell you the story about what happened to Beyonce.
Oh yeah.
Because there is some lore there, which you have no idea about. Anyway,
if we're ever in that region again, I'll have to look her up. We're in the neighborhood,
which is in the forest of Singhorn, somewhere in the wilderness. Yeah. Anyway,
so like, should we ask him?
No.
Or detect?
I just thought, you know a lot of stuff.
I do.
So is he dead? Walking Dead?
A lot of stuff. I'm trying to think of I don't know if I necessarily have a spell that would.
I mean, he's a nice enough guy. Although he did fuck over my
detect
Minotaur.
good and evil would do it. If you were a cleric or something, you would have a sense for it. But Zipple's not here, and the only other, a paladin would have a sense for it.
And I'm the paladin.
Yeah, I can detect magic, and I can identify, and I think like locate creature.
And while I'm like talking out of the side of my mouth to him, I'm gonna look at him and go, "Hey Gundar, nice mud," and put my hand back down. The mud looks really nice. Glad you
I'm
found it.
I'm not part of the conversation.
Yeah, it's up to you.
This
is an enclosed space inside the
actually.
dome. It's only like 10 feet across, so.
I realize I've been suspicious of you.
I'm probably
even whispered.
About my Minotaur.
I'm surprised nobody's done a religion check. Like nobody,
yeah, right?
Because nobody did a religion check when I made the medallions for y'all.
We're a weird group. We're just like, okay.
You've seen some shit already, man. It's like
Yeah.
your little drink is nothing compared to taking a brand.
If nobody wants to make a check, we're gonna move on.
I guess with being prompted by this question from Roland, I guess would it be a medicine check? Like whatever check I would need to do to
it would be a medicine check
if he did.
You should do a religion check.
My religion's not very high.
I mean, it should be fairly common knowledge.
All right, so I'll do a religion check then.
I got a 20 modified.
20 modified?
I got 21.
21. Wow, you guys, those are some good rolls.
Yeah.
It's about time somebody starts figuring
So
things
in
out.
kind of whispering together and looking back and whispering about some things you know about Gundar, you're not sure that he is what you would call normally, as the rest of you are, like normal living. But at the same time, he's not undead in the way that, like, you've seen undead before. Like, at all. There's a slight scent every once in a while, especially at the end of a day, that seems to come off of him, and you're like, what?
Revenant?
But, yeah. Just you're not sure. Like there's something odd there, and he's obviously trying to cover up for something.
All right, so he's not a zombie.
No, he's not.
And I'm pretty sure he's not, any other undead that we'd be familiar with. He's not a ghoul or a ghast or anything like that. But I do detect that he's not, like, fully alive. I don't know. There's something going on there, but it doesn't seem to be.
Everybody's got their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
People are different.
Sometimes people are metal. Sometimes people are.
I mean, as long as this dirt don't rub up on me, whatever, man.
I'm not a very touchy-feely dwarf.
Well,
Yeah.
could bump into me and stuff. And
All right. So what are we doing?
I guess I'm looking at you.
And
And
her religion
Travel
check.
to the south.
yeah.
Your religion check.
Yeah, I did 21.
A 21.
that was a long way away.
There is something about him that seems. You're not a very religious person.
No.
But you've been around enough religious people, and you've even posed as a religious person as part of a couple jobs here and there.
Yeah.
And you've come to know some things. There is something about him that is. There's a duality there. Almost as if somebody started to walk one way and then immediately started to walk another. Is the sense you get. Like it's an odd, like kind of vague sense that you get, but there's two different things there almost. It's hard to explain because this is a pretty kind of deep mystery kind of thing, but you get a sense that there's something just spiritually different there. There's a soul there, you get a sense. Because you've been around people that you would say don't have a soul, like zombies and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's not the sense you get.
Okay, I'm gonna just take that and say, well, are we walking still, or no? We're bedded down for the night. Or time to get up and
I
get
don't
moving.
remember what happened.
Yeah, I don't know if we saw it before. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we're already in the next morning.
Yeah.
It's just I was
This is all kind
kind
of
of rolling back for a minute.
we're kind of
Yeah.
rolling
Sorry.
back and forth here on this night. But these are the things you learn thinking and discussing in this night. But as the sun comes up, you are well rested. You're getting up. What are we doing?
We decided to travel, right?
Yeah, as we're
What you were
getting
doing?
getting up, I take down Liamon's tiny hut
Goodbye.
and I'm gonna ask. I'm like, preparing my spells for the day, and as I see Gundar, packing up his sack and stuff, I say, Gundar, can you reach in my bag over there and hand me my notebook?
You can't get it yourself.
I'm in the middle of something,
I kind of just huff and I go grab it and give it to him.
Okay.
and I'm pointing to an extremely flamboyant, violet-colored bag.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome.
What is this bag?
So
Wait, I know what this bag is. Okay.
yeah, I asked him to reach inside and grab my notebook out of it.
Okay. Oh gosh.
I have
I
a
feel
bad
like-
feeling about
I
this.
feel like I haven't played up my gnomish mischievousness and
Because I have no clue what the heck is
You
going
have
on.
no idea what's going
I
on.
reach
Yes.
into the
This would be a
bag.
good time to wink
All
at
right,
me.
here. 1 sec. I need to actually
Just like,
look up. I need to look up the rolling chart on this. Come on, internet's inventory.
Don't worry, he's gotten us all with this.
I don't recognize this bag. My head's not right
I
today.
think he pulled out of something.
Oh, this bag's
Gundar.
been around a while.
Fine.
Roll D100.
I always put them away because I hardly ever use them.
It's a
This
bar
is a
soap.
really dangerous thing. I mean, not as dangerous as some things have been with certain individuals you've run into, but
46.
46. Number 46 on the chart.
Charts are off.
As you reach in, you feel a small object. And bring it out, you find a 6-sided die. Wait, is it?
12-sided.
12-sided die. Yes, thank you. A 12-sided die. The number 6 has been worn off.
I am very confused.
Ha! You got Chomsky'd. I don't know.
I'm like looking at him and looking at dice and looking at the bag like
I'm laughing. I'm rolling.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna
And I don't know what's
flick
funny,
the,
but
I'm gonna
start
flick the
laughing
dice
too.
out.
Just some good natured fun.
So it's
Only
just
a roll of
regular
45.
die? Regular?
Yeah, you just have a 12-sided die with the number 6 just totally worn off smooth. Like
I fling it at him.
you get hit by a 12-sided die.
How much damage does that do?
None. It's a 12-sided die.
Yeah, there's some
Make it do damage.
there's some
I can throw a 12-sided die at you and you can
there's
tell
some
me how
fun
much
stuff in
damage
that
it does.
bag. Fun stuff.
Not this time.
Last time they took something out of the bag, a dragon wormling showed up. So,
I remember.
I guess I got lucky.
okay, are we heading out for the day?
Yep.
Or are we doing more shenanigans?
No more shenanigans.
Oh, yes,
You'll never know.
Roland, as the expert on having gone through it once in this part of the world, you know the next village, which should be a little less than a day's travel ahead, should be the village of Hillfar, which is fairly small. Once again, just like Wakefield. During the day, you see much as you did the other day, is some rolling hills, the occasional stand-up trees, winding road through the hills. But in the late afternoon, once again, coming up, you see some buildings, like some cottages. Nothing taller, all one story in this one. As you come into town, who has some high passive perception? You have high passive perception, fairly high.
Yeah, 13.
13. Well, a few of you notice, I'd say. Just a little bit of mist in town.
Not 60.
Just like in some area between a few cottages and things, just this mist that seems to be just kind of receding almost into the ground, just like disappearing almost as you're coming into town. Just some wisps of moisture. You don't see any people as you come into this town.
Can I go?
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull a bow. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm not going to town.
I'm
I get a feeling.
I mean, like it seems odd that you don't see people walking around. You don't hear anything. It is silent.
You said there's mist or
There's
fog?
just a little bits of fog and mist that seem to be receding out of the town as you walk into it.
I'm gonna.
Have we already walked into the mist?
You're in the bits. There's no mist to walk into. Like there's just some little tendrils of it that seem to be in the areas between some of the cottages. And
So we're still away from it though.
You are not near it, and you're just in the very beginnings, like the first few buildings of town, when you realize it's strangely silent.
And it's a room.
So I don't verbally say anything, but I kind of just like raise my hand and say
Stop.
to stop.
What are the rest of you doing?
I'm gonna send out the raven and tell it to go, I guess, fly over over the tops of all the buildings, and just do, sort of a sweep or circumference, kind of just go fly through. I guess if
what are you using?
yeah, let's see.
For that, because can you look through its eyes?
Yeah,
You can look through its eyes, yeah. Up to how far?
The mist seem to be staying the same.
Yeah, they actually, as you're watching, you just catch some little bits of it kind of receding. As you're standing there for a few minutes, it just disappears. What little mist there was, this kind of just dingy looking mist just kind of just floats off. A little breeze flows through.
So I'm just gonna do the same thing I did at the last village, which was just cast detect good and evil.
Okay. Familiar has to be.
I guess, I will see through its eyes. I guess that only works out to a distance of 100 feet. Is that what?
100 feet, yeah.
Oh.
You can send out your raven to 100 feet ahead, which is a good amount. It's not terrible.
Could also maybe.
There is no movement or sound through your familiar as you're looking.
Yeah, I guess it can.
You can instruct it to.
It can go further than 100 feet, but after that, it'll just be like reconnaissance coming back to me and communicating with me. I can't communicate with it telepathically and stuff when it's outside of 100 feet.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll just tell it to go fly through town.
Okay.
Tell me what's up. He'll be back in a minute.
As it's flying
Go real
through,
fast.
detect good and evil does not show you an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead.
They get like special. And then
You do get just on your own. You get a sense that just things seem something off here, but you don't get a sense for any of those other
That'll be
things.
really fun.
Takes a few minutes, but your raven eventually comes back. Does the raven have a name, or are we just calling it the raven for now?
We'll call it the Raven for now. I gotta think on it.
You gotta.
I got so
Put
there's
some
too
thought
many
into this.
ideas right now.
But speaking to you in its own kind of like way mentally, it did not see a humanoid within this village anywhere. It does remember seeing several just when the images come just kind of flash into your head, it's almost like large salamanders.
Mm-hmm.
Like just kind of crawling along the ground in the mud.
Okay.
Like between houses, out of houses, things like that.
So Raven didn't see any people, but there's like big salamander things.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe the effects isn't the same everywhere.
Like maybe.
Maybe everybody turned into some.
Yes.
Yeah.
Turn me into a newt.
Maybe.
I can't promise that's what I was thinking when I thought of this. But
That's always.
So yeah, I don't know if the people turned into giant salamanders or giant salamanders ate all the people, or if people ran away because of giant salamanders. I don't know, but
Let's go investigate.
no people, just giant salamanders. Prom, you want to go? Okay.
who's walking? Crom's walking forward. Anybody else?
How big
Are
are
you
these
saying
giants?
you're holding back?
Salamanders?
I mean, from Chomp's description, 3 or 4 feet long, like some large salamander-like being.
Hellbenders.
All right,
I just have a bad feeling,
Okay.
so I'm staying behind.
I had gotten my arrow loosened a little, but I'm going to put it up and get Lucretia out. It's been a while since I played with her.
Okay.
And I'm going to walk with you.
You get your rifle out and you just.
Mm-hmm.
10 points if you shoot them.
Between the eyes.
With
You're right, that would
Lucretia,
be better
that's
for hides.
Pretty.
Oh, is it a rifle or a
Can
shotgun? Or?
Can anybody
It's-
speak the animals?
It is a sniper musket. It's basically a sniper rifle.
Cool.
Okay, who's going in? Who wants make a perception check just walking in, whoever's walking in.
I'm gonna stealth or try to.
Yeah, can I stealth?
Yeah, if you want to try to hide, roll a stealth check first.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, should we? Everybody who's going in, maybe try to tiptoe.
Good thing I'm not going.
Smiley Roland's like,
Yeah, 25 for rolling.
20.
Perception, right? Is that what we're doing?
He has a hide.
well, if you want to
stealth.
sneak, if you're just walking in, don't worry about stealth and roll perception.
Alright, 24.
24 for perception?
Yep.
All right. You two are sneaky enough walking in. Crom is just like tromping in with a 24 perception. You see within about 20, 30 feet of walking into town. Some small movement because it rained a little bit maybe the night before, and there's some mud, and you see some movement. It seems to be something large on the ground, kind of, and you see this large flat. If you've ever seen like the giant Japanese salamanders,
That's what I was thinking about those things.
it's a little bit bigger than that. Just kind of going through the mud, just like slowly, and it doesn't even seem to quite notice you as you come up, but it has what looks like a vest of some kind of wrapped halfway around it.
Oh no!
It's dragging through the mud, and then you as you're looking at this, you hear, and you look over, and there's another one over on the other side of the street. Doesn't seem to have any clothes wrapped around it, but is also just kind of waddling along.
Did you come with me?
Oh, I guess, yeah, I walked in behind you. I wasn't stealthing or anything because you're just tromping along and I'm walking next to you, but I guess you point out that one with the vest.
Yeah. And I'm gonna yell, there's mud over here.
So,
I mean, there is lots of mud in town.
I already got some.
There's some horse shit in the mud, so that's probably okay.
Oh, damn.
What?
I think
What are we gonna do, you guys?
that salamander's wearing a vest.
Kind of.
Take him as a pet.
The two of you kind of sneak up the sides, also see several more of these kind of salamanders. Some with different, like one with a dress kind of tangled around one of its arms and kind of, like, obviously.
Well, I don't have spells, so I either
There
kill
are
it or
multiple.
ignore it, so.
Yeah.
Anybody else has something?
I mean, they don't seem hostile, right? I mean,
No, they're just kind of making their way around town, like through the mud. They seem happy enough.
work.
Are they like?
Happy as salamanders.
on the way to
Like,
work, and and
it's like,
Are they eyeing any of our clothes, particularly? Like.
oh, you think these are clothing stealing salamanders?
They
My
are.
thought exactly.
they don't seem to be. Like, they're
Well, I
in
can't
fact, they
do
hardly
Doolittle,
react to you.
so can you do little?
What do you mean?
I got Dr. Doolittle spell.
Speak to him.
Speak to animals.
Duh.
It's a very druid spell, but
Yeah,
wizard can have it, I think.
I mean, I don't.
Uh,
I haven't bothered with
the
that.
bard.
The bard
Could
might
have
have it. I don't know. He's using the restroom. So, what are the rest of you doing right now?
I'm just kind of circling around out
You're just kind of like,
on the outskirts, like
making a circuit of the outside. Make a perception check. See what you see.
let's do the pink one. 15.
Looking around, you occasionally catch a glimpse. It's not a huge village. It's maybe 50 houses in all, like cottages and shacks and things like that. The ones at the edge are a little bit further than the ones nearer to the middle, but you occasionally just catch some movement in the mud, something kind of sloshing.
Stomp it.
Well, it's a ways off when you see it, so
Oh.
you can go up and stomp it if you want, but you
No,
have
I
to.
mean, I'm not gonna go chasing it. I just if I notice that one gets too close to me, I'm gonna stomp it.
I'd say
Whatever it is.
Probably at least one gets closest to you. You find one.
It gets a
near you.
plate mail boot.
All right, make a. I mean, you kill it. Let's be honest. It's a giant salamander. It's very soft skin.
Yeah.
I guess we should just move on.
How are the
Well-
horses reacting? Are they calm or are they like
yeah,
flaring
that is a
nostrils
good
a
question.
little?
That is a good question. The horses are a little bit uneasy, and they stopped with Gundar at the edge of town, and the rest of you kind of disembarked to look, and they're just kind of occasionally, and just flaring nostrils a little bit and looking around.
Okay.
But they haven't gone far into town yet, so.
Yeah.
How about it'll take me 10 minutes. I want to try to cast detect magic.
As a ritual?
Yes.
Okay. That's easy. I mean, there's no urgency here, it seems, with the salamanders, so.
I'm gonna try to figure out if these guys are under a polymorph spell, or if this town, if we're gonna turn into salamanders.
Could you
or-
dispel magic?
I don't have that.
Oh. What kind of wizard are you?
A really powerful one, okay?
All offense, no defense.
Don't suppose you have speak to animals.
Nope.
Alright,
So no, he does not.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
Surthus did.
With Detect Magic, oh gosh.
There's a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic.
There is a kind of a residual magic that you feel around each, like the few that you find, and you kind of cast it and walk around a bit. Somebody cast a huge true polymorph spell over this town. Basically. Like, that's the gist you get from it. You're not sure how it happened, and bits of the arcane nature of it you don't quite understand, but that's... Each one of these creatures used to be a person.
It's a pretty good prank.
Whoops.
You kicked one to death.
Oh, guys.
I squished
It's a
one.
powerful spell,
It
man.
got too near him. I mean, that's
Yeah.
fair.
I mean,
They're
to be
creepy.
fair, it was squirming around in the mud. I didn't know what it was.
I'm,
until-
not,
just
I'm
like-
certainly not
You
condemning
just like
what
that
you did.
until
It was,
indefinitely.
at some point, one of these little salamanders is
Yeah, I remember
gonna
you telling
come
me
into a
about
human and look at you and yell. "You
The
killed
spell's not
Grandma."
active anymore, though. The best you can
Or my
tell,
grandson.
Grandma got ran over
By a
dwarf.
salamander. Yeah, by a dwarf.
maybe a day and a half ago.
That's just kind of sad for this whole
We
town.
We can't dispel anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll be right back.
at least they got plenty of mud, right? I mean, they seem to be
salamanders
having
do love mud.
They seem to be having
If there's
a
one thing I know
hell
about
of a
giant
time.
salamanders. they
no
love
more
mud.
responsibilities.
Guess they don't have to go to work anymore and
Mm-hmm.
pay rent.
They got everything they need.
Could be worse.
Glad we didn't get turned into salamanders.
Not yet, anyhow.
That would have sucked.
Maybe next town.
Fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, and you said it was about a day and a half ago.
We catching up.
You know, if I was a religious person who had been told to screw off or something like this, imagining what happened to this town, I'd come up with something a hell of a lot better than a salamander to turn those people into. Giant tarantulas, maybe, or
But they have so many predators.
do they?
I don't know. These are giant.
Almost every
salamanders.
bird.
Yeah, true.
Well,
But ones of this size
Giant.
are.
This giant.
Then maybe I would turn them into tiny tarantulas.
Uh,
But why salamanders?
Because it's funny.
Yeah,
Well, I wonder
that's all I can think. I think
I
you're
wonder-
right.
Nobody really likes a slimy
if
salamander.
the one town, cycles every day, and then these, are they permanently?
Oh, that's a good
A
That's
true
question.
polymorph.
True polymorph. Yeah.
Well, that's what
that's
we're
permanent.
assuming, right?
Yeah.
That's
That's what
what
it's
I
detect
gathered
magic.
I did detect magic, and just based on what I've been able to gather.
I mean, they can eventually be dispelled. It's just nobody here can dispel.
Man, too bad they're not bigger, or we could take them along and ride them. Well, you have the horse. We could all have giant salamanders.
What are we, the
Look on the
drone
right
now?
side.
It looks like somebody on like a really tiny tricycle. Like
I mean, actually,
How much-
Chomsky could probably ride one.
That's
You
true.
could,
Oh,
but-
you
You could.
What's the speed on this thing?
It wouldn't be very fast.
I was gonna say.
It doesn't have to be fast. It's throws somebody off their game like, oh my god, a gnome riding a fucking salamander. What the hell?
Alright,
Okay.
what's next?
What do you want to do?
Get the fuck out of this place.
This town is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Everybody's been turned into a salamander. Okay.
Surprise rolling and trying to loot everybody.
I hadn't thought about that.
Oops.
Yeah.
Ransack the houses. They don't
Sorry,
need it no
my
more.
mind was off in
I
some
mean,
world.
you don't know
Yeah.
what might be in these houses.
Yeah, I'd like to just look at a few houses, please.
And even if I knew dispel magic, I don't think it would help.
Yeah, depending on what level it was.
Because
cast at.
the true polymorph is a 9th level spell to begin with. I think I just don't even.
And it would have to be higher.
And this
if
was
it
a
mass cast.
Mass true polymorph.
Right, so that's like a.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
That's like a god level.
Fizzles and burns out.
Yep. This town got put a spell on, you guys.
That sucks for them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I do want to look at a couple houses. I can't believe I forgot that. Just near us to see what's in there.
make an investigation check real quick.
Check the lizard pocket. Sorry, salamander, not a lizard, not a salamander.
19.
19. Maybe you find a few things, some odds and ends. You find a little bit of money.
It's really just sad. I don't want to.
Like you find 12 silver,
Uh-huh.
16 copper
16.
Alright, salamander in like a crib or a child's
in money,
bed.
but
Oh man.
various
Aw.
clothes,
See a little tiny
I
salamander
don't
running
need clothes.
around.
I would imagine their clothes are not as nice
silverware,
as
plates, cups,
sterling or
No
just
more crying
plate?
baby to take care of.
mostly wooden.
Eh.
A couple of metal, a couple like
Are they
iron.
aware that they're salamanders?
Well, I'll just stick with the gold.
I
and
mean,
used to be humans.
yeah, I guess they're aware they're salamanders, but are they
I
aware
mean,
that
That's
they
the
used
theoretical question, because if you cast polymorph, then you're still a human that's just under the guise and the abilities of what you're polymorphing into. But true polymorph actually turns you into the thing.
Yeah.
So you're not a human playing salamander. You are a
I
salamander.
guess that's better in a way.
I think the point of true polymorph is that you can have its abilities and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Thomas to come get me the head. I have a concussion and that's sweet. So yeah, my head. Since we're not having combat, I think my head wants me to go home now.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah.
Yourself, girl.
It's feeling pretty bad.
Do you- Yeah, I did well. I did better than I thought I would. I made it longer than I thought I would.
That's good.
So
Okay. Should we run into anything? I will
yeah.
make sure you don't die.
Thank you.
I guess.
That would be good.
That would
Although I
be
do,
unfair.
if not, I would do the monk goblin who wants to be good but can't quite pull it off. He's trying hard, really hard to reframe the whole goblin narrative.
But it's hard to go against your nature.
Yeah.
Every time he says you're just munching on something on a hill, people come charging at you.
You know, if I had to make a second character,
Uh-huh.
I would want to make
Non
a character with
human
its
arm.
own alignment
Yeah,
with chaotic lawful.
that would be cool.
Yeah, it's like I have a code of ethics, and you don't know what the code of ethics is, and neither
it's
do I.
inconsistent
Neither
all
do
over the
I.
place.
Yeah.
Huh?
But it's there.
Yeah. Chaotic lawful.
So yeah.
Okay. Y'all have a good rest of the day.
All right, you too.
Thanks for coming,
Feel
Mark.
better.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, it will. It'll pass. Yeah. But yeah, you were talking about workers' comp. They've already screwed mine up, left and right, and I'm gonna have a hell of a time fixing it.
I had to get a lawyer.
They forgot to do my workers' comp.
Of course they do.
Yeah, I think I know the woman who's in charge of the diocese. I just wrote her daughter to find out.
Are we gonna sue the church? Yes.
Well, that's the thing.
Down with
Churches
it.
have different rules about like they don't put into unemployment and stuff like that, and so
well,
that's
apparently they're supposed to have workers' comp. They just forgot
They
to do
should.
mine. So
Okay.
I think it's Joanne Green, who I've known for years. So that'll be good.
on your way out upstairs. If you
Uh-huh.
hold the door closed and push the lock button,
Yeah.
it should lock it up.
Okay. Cool.
Be careful.
Bye.
Be careful, yeah.
I will see y'all later.
See
And I
ya.
have good cookies next time. Those ones I was talking all about.
All right,
Ooh,
Yeah.
yay.
awesome. Okay, so
So yeah, like
getting your moving out of the salamander town.
Yeah.
Because apparently the true polymorph, they gain all the mental ability scores and statistics of the new form, but they retain their alignment and
What that is.
personality. But
Yeah, so they still
Oh,
remember
cooking?
being human, but not necessarily well.
This was
and
the
not
last
in
one.
the
Emma.
yeah
I'll give you half.
Oh, no, no.
yeah like
I
not in
don't
the
need
same way.
You sure?
know?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like
sure.
if it's
Hey,
more
Clay.
like if a giant salamander had my personality,
Like I'm
it
a
would,
busybody.
I don't
it
salamander.
would still be a giant salamander.
It would just also
But-
really like playing D&D.
Yeah, we would just get along really
Work
well,
out.
I guess. I don't know.
Continuing on
Yeah.
to the
let's-
south. This is depressing.
let's
I'm just
go.
curious what the next town's gonna look like.
I mean,
Who knows?
Yeah, it's kind of there's no.
You have a few
pattern,
hours
really.
left in this day. You can get out of town a little bit before you make bed down for the night.
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I'd rather sleep. In the
I don't want to
woods.
sleep in this town.
Why was the last town okay?
Like, why was the last town?
Didn't seem to be messed up. You know,
Maybe.
one that-
Oh yeah, like
Yeah, one that
bartender
was
had bad
burned
dreams,
up.
and that was about it.
We got one that was killing each other every night. One was fine, and now this one's turning into a lizard.
Maybe
That's
maybe
a
they
good
pledged
point.
their allegiance to the Dark Lord. I don't know. And we left them alone.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
That's what I would do.
Moving on though, in the next few hours, you don't see anything odd, although it kind of haunts you the fact that an entire village of people had been turned into giant salamanders.
Oh, do y'all share that with Gundar? Do I find out about that?
I mean, I imagine, because you don't ever enter town,
I mean, I don't really care.
somebody shares with
But
you
I'm like,
what happened. Yeah.
I squished a Salander that got too close to me.
It's a big one.
And now that I know that it was a human, I'm like, oh well.
Yeah.
As long as you got your mud,
I
everything's
just
good.
wanted you to know you're driving. Not me.
I didn't forget it.
That'd be funny if I tried to drive.
Bedding down for the night, nothing happens during the night. I'll save the check. But waking up in the morning, Roland knows that the next town is supposed to be the town of Keld, which is a bigger town. Not as big as Byron by any chance, but maybe 1,000 people. Like a good sized town. It's one of the last ones before you get to the Riven Mist jungle. He thinks that you should reach it before early afternoon. So, anything anybody wants to do in the morning?
Well, I mean, should we even be entering towns at this point?
Yeah.
Wanna,
How else
take
are
a
we gonna?
bypass road?
Well, yeah, just what
Well,
if
we're
we're there
following-
when shit goes down? We
Following
become lizards.
clues. I mean, we can stop before we get there and send us. Well, we don't really have a scout.
You got to Raven.
Yeah.
100 feet, yeah.
We can also maybe stop people, leaving the town and ask them questions before
That's
entering.
true. You've been seeing fewer and fewer people on the road with you as you've gone on. Especially recently. But as you move through the day, it becomes occasionally overcast and then clears off. A few hours later, you see some clouds moving again. You don't see any other person throughout the entire day. This is the first day you haven't seen sign of any other person throughout an entire day. But eventually, a little afternoon, fog starts to roll in around you, just lightly.
I don't like this, guys.
Leave us in.
I don't like it.
Wait, sorry.
I mean, it's not that it rolls in. You are walking into it.
We're rolling in.
You're rolling into the fog.
That's right.
We're walking into rolling fog.
Does this cart have fog lights? We need to.
I mean, and it's fairly light at first. Like you can see
I
still
know.
see
Afraid
a
of
ways.
fog.
Just every once in a like you
What is
just
this?
see
Nothing
Did
good
Mom
is
says-
ever
Yeah.
in fog.
Chrome says.
When have you
Fog.
ever found something good, or when has it ever been a foggy?
Fog
or
is
a good thing?
Do you not remember
normal
what the
part
villagers
of,
said about?
I mean, I like
No, I don't remember.
like sitting in front of the fire on a foggy afternoon, like reading a book. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, because
That'd be great
the
if that's what we were
the
doing.
king in yellow
Well,
went
how are
into
you
that
sure it's
town
not
that killed
what we do?
that they were killing each other.
Oh yeah, maybe we
He chanted and then fog came down.
Oh.
and
Don't
then
forget about that.
it disappeared, and then they left.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, I'm scarred for life now.
Or
Can never trust fog.
salamanders and fog.
What are you all continuing on, or
Yeah.
continuing on?
Yeah, into the fog.
How's the horses reacting to it?
They don't seem overly worried about it.
Carry on.
So are we stopping when we get to like cities within sight and then send a scout? Or
Well, are there any more cities? Aren't we about to go into the jungle?
Roland tells you that because there's one last town, and it's of a fairly good size, the last one before the jungle. And he says, as you start to move into the fog, we're fairly near the town of Keld, which is not on the map.
Yeah.
I say we just keep on pushing forward.
Yeah, well, that's
So you have a little orientation thing, but you don't have.
No, I mean north is up.
Okay.
Yeah, the usual. The fog thickens a bit, and eventually, through it, about 50 feet off, you see a small cottage appear, and quickly after another, and you realize you're coming into what's probably a town or a village.
All right.
So,
Bye bye, Raven. Go do your thing.
It's slowly thickening up this fog.
I knew I should have gotten a bat.
Just
A blind sight.
bat lax out.
yeah.
I mean, I could polymorph into a bat.
Moving in more,
But if there's an area of effect on a spell, like you would be.
I imagine I'm like stabling the horses like on the outskirts, find like a tree or something, tie them off to.
okay. So you're
So
all
I'm not
moving in
actually taking the
slower.
cart into town.
Okay. So moving in then, though, making sure, you, because you're really watching out, see, just, even though you're not feeling wind move, there's occasional movement in the fog. Like there just seems and it sometimes seems to come closer to you, sometimes away from.
Do you have like a move this wind out? Like a wind spell? Like to move things out? Away? No, okay.
There is stuff like that.
I
know lots of spells, okay?
Okay.
Just none that have been useful lately.
Moving further in the five of you seeing buildings on either side, but they're at this point fairly heavily obscured by fog. Like you can see the outlines, you can't see down between them. Eventually, though, Gundar, you see movement just out of the corner of your left eye as you're on kind of the left side of the street as you're moving into this town.
Is it within range?
I mean, you just catch it and then suddenly you feel yourself being hit.
Ouch.
That is a 26 to hit.
That hits. Did you roll at disadvantage?
Oh, no, I did not. That is a 25 to hit.
That still hits.
All right. You take 6 bludgeoning damage from what seems like a hand seems to form out of fog and just hit you in the side of the face. And then as it hits you, just disperses once again into vapor.
So I call out after I get hit.
Yeah.
Basically to let the party know to be on alert now.
Yeah. For what?
I was already.
As he's yelling at, and you say for what? That is a 16 to hit you, Chomp.
Shit just got real.
Yeah, that hits.
And you take 10 bludgeoning damage to the side of the head as it seems like you see out of the corner of your eye a fist that hits you and then dissipates into fog as it hits you.
Son of a bitch. Ah!
I don't know how I can do this,
What do you want to do?
but I'm gonna try to hide in the fog.
Stand really
Alright.
You see several buildings around. You can
Pull a
try to get
draft,
into one.
just-
What do you want to do?
Oh, I'm not gonna go into a building.
You can go.
But,
Meow.
maybe I could obscure myself with any vegetation nearby.
As you're trying to hide,
I get hit. Well, I rolled a 1.
Does a 10 to hit you?
Does a 10 hit me?
Does a 10 hit you?
Armor class 15. No.
Okay, so you see a fist form in the fog, and you're able to dodge it, and you see it whoosh by you, and then dissipate into nothing, and back into the fog. Crumb, a 23 to hit tries to hit you. I'm guessing that hits.
Yeah.
As you take 6 damage,
That's fine.
bludgeoning damage.
That's fine.
As you all start to realize that there's movement everywhere in the fog around you, and it seems to be chasing you. They're just trying to come at you.
Can't
These
chase me if
swings
I'm not
of just
running.
these fist-like claws of mist that are coming at you from the side.
Run away.
What would you like to do?
Like away from like the direction we came from.
I
to
would
get out of
say
the fog.
take cover in a building is what I would yell, but then we would get separated probably.
Yeah, I'd go into a building with other people. I ain't gonna do it by myself.
You can see in the fog like sunlight kind of coming through, and you can see the thickness of it, and it seems that, like up ahead along this main drag coming into town, that it looks like there's more light coming through. Like there could be an open space up beyond the fog.
I'm
here.
sorry. What did you say? How many bludgeoning? I had to do
6.
everything.
6.
I'm just gonna keep pushing forward.
Yeah, should we just run for it?
It's up to you. I don't know. Should you run for
I
it?
guess I'm following the crowd.
I mean,
Toward what? What's our end game?
Well, like there's more light up ahead.
We're
That
gonna
seems
Okay.
like
get
it's
to death
just
by the
shining through the fog, like it might be an open
yeah, I
space.
yell out like, everybody head towards that light, fast.
Okay.
All right. Running through. No. Maybe. Okay. You keep taking, like, seeing movement from either side and, like, these claws and fists coming out of nowhere. Along the sides of the road here, you begin to see bits of red, and then you see an arm here.
Oh.
And you see like part of a torso off to one side, and you start realizing as you're running by that people have been torn apart along this here. As you're running forward, and the buildings and houses become more dense as you're running along, and eventually you can start seeing through, and you see brightness, and you blink, and the mist and fog seems to end almost like a wall. And you're near what you might call the center of town, like there's an open market in front of you. And you see many hundreds of faces looking at you. Maybe even thousands. It's hard to tell with the buildings around you.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Do you really want to?
I'm gonna.
1,000.
I am a dwarf in plate mail running. There's a lot of momentum behind me that doesn't stop easily, so I'm just gonna keep going.
So there's,
I mean, directly in front of you, there's like a wall of people about 60 feet off. It seems to be made of every race and age of people. At one point, over a cottage, you see this large looming figure that looks like it, just based on things you've heard, might be a storm giant.
Cool.
So anyway, I started blasting. I'm just gonna.
We're not with him.
But in front of all these people, in the middle of this like market open square, you see a figure in a yellow robe.
Oh fuck.
Oh yeah, I definitely keep. I start
Parts of
swinging.
body is all around him. Okay.
I'm
How would you like to
rushing
swing
right
at them? Because they're still a good 40 feet in front of you.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna keep charging, and then I'm just gonna start swinging once I actually get in range of them.
I'm gonna back up into the fog again.
I'm not gonna.
you go back into the fog.
Sorry, I did not mean to.
Especially
interrupt this.
if I notice the cultist in yellow, like my determination gets even more. So my only objective is to reach him now, and if that means I got to go through 100 to 200, I'm gonna try.
You got a new character?
I'm pretty hard to hit.
Oh yeah, you're already dead.
Okay. Who's charging? Because he's charging forward. What are the rest of you doing?
As soon as I see that, I am kind of
I'm going
stopping, moving to the side, trying to take cover and hide, like
Moving to the side.
to a building, but not going in back into the fog.
Okay.
I'm trying to split the difference.
Roll a stealth check to see how much you can hide. Chomping Crom, what are you doing?
I'm gonna take a big old step backwards into the fog.
You go back to the fog?
It only bludgeoned me 6. This guy's gonna fuck me up.
Just like Homer Simpson into the hedge. Just
Like,
Pretty much, yeah.
but then you had the little kid at first, like, I'm in danger.
Yeah.
Nope.
danger.
That meme hasn't crossed your head yet.
Lysander, you
It hadn't reached me.
you're like going back and forth trying to find a place to hide. There's not a lot of place to hide here.
I
You're
did
in
the
middle
Danny
of an
DeVito one.
Open.
Anyway, I started blasting.
Anyway, I started blasting. What's your running speed?
30 feet.
Okay.
You Naruto running into him? Naruto run?
Oh no, I got my axe out. I'm ready to
You're
start.
just going ahead. Make a wisdom saving throw.
What are you doing?
Yeah, what is Chomp doing?
Well, it sounds like.
Are you charging?
Well, it sounds like what happened is like we all ran out of the fog, and
23.
23. Well, you actually saved.
Gundar just kept running, and you two just dipped out, and I'm left standing there.
Like, oh shit.
Well, you have a choice.
Well,
You go right,
I'm going
left,
to yell,
forward.
oh shit, I'm going back in the fog. So,
I think
you know where I went.
when everyone's scattered and I'm left there in the middle, I think I might just go, "What's going on here?"
I'm gonna try to get.
What the
Oh!
fuck?
That scared me.
I know.
Sorry.
See what's going on.
Let's see if I can get this to work.
I'm gonna try to get. If Middle Child is close to me, I'm gonna try to grab his hand and say, "Go with me."
You're not grabbing my hand?
He's running along with you, so.
No, you protect Middle Child. That's fine. I can handle myself. I'm a big wizard.
What was that episode of Family Guy where Stewie gets cornered and he just like spreads his legs like, oh
yeah,
shit.
that's kind of how I feel.
Ooh, cool.
How long you been wanting to pull this out?
I know. That's been a while. So you all run in that end down there.
Oh, that's
This is
There's like moving water and
the
stuff.
guy. He's around here. The rest of you, you can put those down near the end there.
I'm in the fog.
I don't have a Lysander character yet, so Cirthus is still in the mix. Alright, in one round you can run how far, Gundar?
30 feet.
30 feet. So the edge of the black there is
Where we came in.
is where you came in, so you can go 6 spaces from the side.
30, right there.
Alright. As you feel something try to take over your mind, you shake it off and continue forward. What are the rest of you doing for this kind of next round of collective combat? We're not quite in initiative yet.
Alright.
We can be if you want. Does anybody want to roll initiative?
Can I be in the fog?
Like there's just people around all the edges of this, just packed in around all the edges of the buildings. This one yellow-bound figure just in the middle, just kind of
Are all the
gesturing towards
people?
you.
Are all the people? Are they wearing just like regular clothes, all different clothes?
Make
They're
a
not
perception
in,
check.
in uniform.
I mean, they don't seem to all. They seem to be mostly wearing regular clothes, but make a perception check.
That is a 14.
14. I mean, you see several places around, kind of badly painted or maybe made in charcoal on some bare chests. The same symbol you had seen in many other cities, scroll on walls, or in the sky above Iman when you were leaving, or in Sigil when you were leaving. The same strange symbol you've seen many other places.
Road Reggie.
What the fuck? I don't know what I thought was gonna happen. Caught up with them.
Everybody roll initiative. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, I think that's.
It needs to be done.
Yeah.
Road Reggie.
I did.
crazy.
Sync.
What do we got for initiatives?
19 for me.
Okay.
16.
Chomp, what'd you get?
I got a 21.
Oh gosh.
Look at you.
That last,
What'd you get?
26.
last level up, I increased my
26. What the heck?
dexterity.
18 plus 8.
No, that's a wow.
Yeah, that just happened. I didn't try to do that.
You got a plus 8.
I know. I didn't
Your
even try to
initiative?
do it.
What the?
Super dex.
Yeah, it's really hard for rogues and bards to not go first.
Yeah. Which is, I don't know, good and bad. Sometimes it's nice to see how the battlefield's playing out to decide what to do.
Yeah, it's not. It's good for rogues, but yeah, it's kind of like hit or miss for bards.
Okay. So as you're charging forward, and they tried to cast, is there anything they want to be doing in the meantime on that kind of turn-ish?
I mean, is there anything I can do? Like, do I have an action?
I mean, like treat it like a turn before your actual turn here in initiative. You're running. So.
I mean, I won't say I have any spells planned or there's nothing, because I don't know what I was actually running into other than I'm running and I just decided to continue running. So my only forethought of action was the first person I came in contact with was going to get a battle axe. So if there's nobody in range for me to actually swing my axe at, I'm not going to cast any spells.
All right. So as you're running, though, the rest of you, Crom kind of stepping back into the midst of it, the rest of you kind of just like looking forward. Right before the start of the first round here, you see this figure in a yellow cloak that's kind of flowing out behind them. There's no wind here, but the cloak seems to move anyway. As you're watching, they reach up with a hand to their face, they're looking at you, and it seems like this almost death mask white. And as they bring their hand up, you realize it's a mask. This white mask. And as they remove it, you see a familiar-ish face.
That guy.
It's Azatur Kaiwan.
Oh, that guy.
The ghost / whatever he was that had been trying to
get us to help him.
Get you to help him. But the features, familiar, seem to just slowly, even from this distance, just distort a little, as if something is moving beneath the skin.
Ooh. These worms.
Oh, whew, it's you, Kaiwan. Oh, thank God.
Buddy, old pal of mine.
I
I
meant
thought
to
we
get
were-
back to you, but
And as he takes the mask off, you hear the whole crowd around you just in their turn. Each person says, Hester, 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 Hester.
I was worried. It's our good buddy.
yeah, no worries. Everything's cool.
They all are, everybody around, more than 1,000 people just staring at him, not you.
That's good.
Anyway, first round. Lysander, you're up trying to find a place to hide, just like you weren't able to find a place to hide. What are you doing?
Can we continue to try to find a place to hide?
Roll another stealth check for this turn.
Yes! A lot better.
Does sound come through the fog? Like I can hear what's
You can
going
hear
on?
what's going on. You can hear just the calls of, it's not Azatur, it's Haster you're hearing
Oh.
from all around. And there's people even in the
What
fog,
does that mean?
fairly, maybe 20 feet off from you, you hear voices in the fog near you. Like there are people
Don't
everywhere.
punch me.
Everywhere there are people.
25.
25. Yeah, you duck behind some boxes to your left there, and actually, if you'll move, the guy, he's in the next one over. Yeah, that's who he would have. Yeah, it's just kind of behind some things there. Yeah, that's you duck behind, and you feel pretty hidden. Is that all you're gonna do for this turn?
Tuck my tail in.
All right.
Yeah.
Chomp, you're up next. Gundar, you're up after that. So you see this familiar face, but shifting, like something's under the skin.
Oh, wait. I can hide as a bonus action, right?
I don't know, can you?
For sure.
I don't know.
Click on your bonus actions.
Let me. Yeah, click on bonus actions and let's find out. Exandria Ozymandias
Did you
Wellington.
say boner action?
Bonus.
Different kind of hiding. Anyway.
Yeah, cutting action. You can take a bonus action on each of your turns to take a dash, disengage, or hide.
Okay, then yeah, as your bonus action you hide, would you like to take an action
Yeah,
on
I'm
your
gonna
turn?
cast heroism on myself.
Heroism. Okay, what's that do?
Man, not much.
Gonna give him some courage.
Yeah,
Courage.
level 1. 3 extra hit points, temporary, and then
You gain immune to being frightened, and you gain temporary hit points equal to your spellcasting ability modifier.
3.
So 3. Okay. Oops, I just rolled something for you accidentally. Sorry about that. Next up, Gundar. Crom, you're up after that.
Oh wait, I go.
Oh, are you? Oh no, Chomp, you're up after that. Sorry. You're up next. I got messed up because he took his. Gundar, you're
I
up
do.
after that.
I don't. Without having seen this guy fight yet, I don't know if I should I just come out with my 1/6 level spell slot.
Hold an action.
I was gonna say hold an action until I engage him, maybe.
Yeah, I don't want to like use my highest spell slot and then it's like, oh, we find out he just like can
Counterspell.
dispel. Yeah, do something like.
He turns us
Nope.
into ducks.
So
You're a duck.
and then I'm a duck forever.
Motherfucker.
I guess I'll go kind of middle of the road and I'm gonna hurl a. If it misses, then it misses.
Oh my god. I thought you said you had a spell.
I do. So I'm gonna do a 4th level chromatic orb, and I'm gonna. No, this dumb spell. I'm gonna do a 4th level chromatic orb, and make it like thunder damage. Nothing's immune to thunder damage, right?
Not
Nothing
much.
at all whatsoever.
I'm just curious who you're checking this at.
The guy in the middle.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw
Yes.
a
I don't know
4th
what's going
level chromatic orb at I'm just gonna aim it at our buddy there in the middle.
Okay.
The guy that most likely to have mass troop polymorph.
Well, yeah, it's the only guy out there, right?
Alright, so what are you casting?
There's hundreds of people out there.
I'm gonna I gotta do a attack roll.
Okay.
4th level
Yeah.
chromatic orb.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess thunder damage and range spell attack. I guess I'll pull out what all my bonuses. I'm gonna burn a 2nd level spell slot to increase the damage and use my my bracelet thing. That's a 26 to hit.
Okay. Could you roll a d20 for me? As you cast this, he extends his hand out in front of him.
Okay.
What'd you get?
18.
18. All right. You feel a little bit of resistance to your casting this spell. Oh, wait a minute.
I just rolled that was a raw d20. I don't know if it was.
Was there a wait? What level is the spell you're casting at? 4th
I'm
level?
casting it at 4th level.
Okay.
It natively is a lower level though, but I don't know.
Yeah, but you're casting.
I'm casting
what
it at
matters
4th
is where
level.
you're casting it
Yes.
at. You feel a little bit of resistance, and then it goes through, as if something there was he kind of misjudged, but was trying to resist you.
Because I'm small.
Go ahead and roll. What's your damage?
What's your damage?
What's your damage, man?
Okay, so this is gonna be a bit. It's gonna be the 6d8 is gonna be 24 thunder damage.
Okay.
Plus my bracelets add
another D8, I believe.
when you hit with spell attack, it's 1 extra damage die. Yeah.
Yeah.
So another D8. So that's 4. So 28 total.
28.
28, but then I burned a 2nd level spell slot with my alchemical casting, which gives me about a 2d10 force damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. I think it's in here. 2d10. 5 force damage. So 28 thunder, 5 force.
5 force. Okay. 10s. Okay. So you're able to do, I mean, as you release and feel that resistance, it goes out nonetheless, and you all hear this thunderclap, and he kind of takes a half a step back. Gives you a look.
Yeah, that's right.
Who's up next?
That'd be me.
Gundar's up next, and then Crom.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To dash, is it action or bonus action?
Action.
Okay, using my action to dash. 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm in his face.
You run up into his face at the last second, and yeah, we'll go from there, I guess.
Okay.
Mm.
And I'm gonna bonus action cast Divine Favor on myself.
Divine Favor. Okay.
I guess I should have done an area of effect spell first, because now all of you melee people are going to be all up in his face. Oh well. I got it.
Live and learn or die and don't.
Okay. Next up then. Crom, you're up. And then Roland will be going.
Okay, I will bonus action. I'll rage, I guess. And sorry, I'm not used to my boots. How they work.
If I remember, like, they're a little odd. I don't know if they were exactly explained correctly in there.
Do I use an action to, like, initiate them, or, like...
I think you need to use a bonus action.
Okay.
You can use an action to initiate them, though.
Okay, so I rage and do my boots.
Okay.
And I have movement still, right?
Yes.
So plus 30 movement.
Anybody want to move Crom?
Where you want to
So
6.
it says walking speed is 70.
With your boots enacted, yes.
Okay, so, okay.
Did you go through the crowd of people?
70.
I mean, the people are all around the edges of this, like even nearish to where you are and back, but they're not in here. They're like spread out.
Okay.
What's up? That should do it. You're almost like 20 feet away, maybe less.
Yeah, 20. 15 to 20.
15 to 20 feet away at this point. And you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In that case, Roland's turn. Roland takes a bonus action to hide. Could somebody move Roland's? Yes, over
Left or
where
right?
basically where yeah, right there. Hiding behind and will just as she said before she left, I think he would take using Lucretia, the musket there. Let's see here. All right, fires, and that's gonna be plus 12 to hit, 24 to hit, hits. 1d12 plus 8. That's not, there it is. 15 piercing damage as Roland takes, well, actually, because they're hiding, plus the 66.
You have to be in pocket.
I know, but it might come into play here.
Definitely.
6 plus the 66 plus, I believe, assassinate. Yeah, so it's a critical hit, so it's just 30 plus 66. Nine, 12, 16, 18. 48 piercing damage. Roland does.
Whoa.
Nice.
As Lucretia, from behind the boxes, kind of off to one side, and some crates just. Managed to do a good amount of damage.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Sneak attack plus assassinate.
Dang.
Good thing I dashed.
Apparently, yeah. Yeah, you're right up to them, so it works. 48. They are not looking rough yet, I will tell you that. In any case, it is now his turn. He has so many things he can do. But you feel this warmth suddenly gather in the air. As there's a few burning torches nearby around the edges of the... It's not night or anything yet, but there's a few cooking fires and some small torches that are burning, and they start to swirl, and you see these flames start to swirl in the air, and he gets Firestorm. And he catches... I mean, he has an idea of where Lysander and Roland are hidden, but the other three of you, he knows exactly where you are. You had pretty good. I would say, based on hide actions... Oh, no, that's not good. Oof. Roland takes the damage, but you don't, because you had a very high stealth roll. 7d10.
Who takes it?
Everybody make a dex saving throw. Lysander, make a dex saving throw with advantage.
You get a +3. You get a +3 because you're within 60 feet of me.
Okay, and I get advantage from my danger sense.
just beats it. Okay. All right. What do y'all got?
Gundar rolled a 21.
21. Okay.
16.
16.
I got a 13.
13. And you roll at advantage.
What am I doing?
Dex saving throw.
Oh, a saving.
Saving throw, yes.
Oh.
And you get the bonuses from his aura.
17.
Okay. What'd you get, John?
13.
Okay, the two of you take 26
No.
fire damage.
12.
God damn it.
You also take 26 fire damage.
Are you okay, buddy?
What did you roll?
21.
You take 13 fire damage. As these flames seem to shoot out of everywhere and consume you for a second. In these kind of 10-foot squares around your areas. Yes. As he does this, he floats up about 10 feet in the air. Yes. This won't work.
Can I take a reaction?
You can as he's moving away from you.
So I'll cast Hellish Rebuke at 3rd level as a reaction.
Can you do Hellish Rebuke?
Yeah, it says 1 reaction.
Well, it's... But as a attack of opportunity, generally you can only do a melee unless you are a warcaster or...
Well, I can't use the reaction to getting hit by the flames.
Ah, that is reaction. Okay.
Because I want to use the reaction.
Because you were damaged, so you can. Yeah.
And then the opportunity attack from him moving away.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so as a reaction you can use Hellish Rebuke, and that is...
But
Dex save of 15.
do opportunity attacks, are those reactions?
No, it's in addition to
This is an addition.
Okay.
Because I was already in attack range of
They
it.
roll a 14. So
So
that's 2...
4d10.
Is it 40? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I cast it at max level.
Okay.
$15. That'll be 15 fire damage to him.
Okay. And then attack of opportunity with your battle axe straight up.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll for attack. Okay, we're gonna have to go bigger.
Dirty 20. I have a feeling he has shield.
Dirty 20, I mean, he could, but he doesn't need it necessarily. So that'll hit. Wait, yeah, it meets, so it beats, yeah.
Okay, so that's going to do some damage. So 1d...
Something.
1d8. 2d8. And then I'm casting Divine Smite with it.
Okay.
$25 slashing damage.
25 slashing damage. All right. As he's floating up, you manage to catch him with a little bit.
I landed over there near y'all.
Yeah.
You too.
Dark. All right.
There it is.
Thank you. Sorry about
It's a good thing we started putting flashlights on the phone.
Yes. Okay. So, in that case, moving to the top of the round, and I think. Oh, wait, 1 second. What do we have here? Okay. We can use that. Lysander, you're up at the top, hiding. What are you doing?
Good question.
Chomp, you're up next.
I don't think
You
I
got
have
something
anything
to help?
that I can do right now, so.
I'm hurting.
mean, you don't need to. You're hiding, so
Yeah.
at least as far as you know.
To be hiding.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay there.
Okay.
I might run.
In that
I wanna
case,
clump up with everybody.
Chomp, you're up.
Maybe
Gundar, you're
on that
next.
side. There's a place behind the rock.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
He's squishy.
Oh, squishy.
And as you're going, he says, "Welcome! It's so good of you to finally join me." Although as he speaks, it seems like it's his voice, but almost as if it's from far off. And as his mouth moves, his words don't always line up with his mouth. Like sometimes they're a little bit behind the words, and then suddenly his face jumps ahead of his words. It's weird.
It's a familiar.
Bad W.
All this while something seems to be like moving almost as if like beetles or something beneath his skin, like just this
Is
movement.
he like? Could he? Like how the thing with spiders morph together?
Like, is he made of worms? Let's see.
Banging maggots.
I don't want to get too far away. I mean, I got some range, but
You need to hide, dude.
yeah, I'm gonna take cover behind maybe like some of these boxes and barrels
Go for
over
it. Yeah,
here.
there is stuff there. If it's on there, you can see it.
25.
Okay.
So I don't know if that gives me like quarter cover. Half
It might
cover,
it'll give you
something.
some cover, probably half cover. You'd have to take a full action to hide, but
Yeah, I'm just gonna take cover, and then how high up in the air did he go?
10 feet.
Okay. Let's see.
He's just beyond the reach of Gundar, regularly swinging.
Give me a boost, Crom. Give me a boost.
Grom can freaking fly if she needs to. So
Bring me with you.
I think that will weigh me down.
I could.
carrying would count as an action.
I'll grab onto their
That's
ankles.
why I'm over.
No.
Yeah. I guess I need to, do a storm sphere.
Do it.
Yep. I'm gonna cast Storm Sphere, and it's a range of 300 feet
Okay.
and a 20-foot radius sphere
Okay.
of. I'm gonna make the storm centered. I guess centered above his head. Or
You don't want to make it so that it covers him, but like
If you
Make
do
him go
5 feet
down.
above his head, I should be out of range of it.
but if he comes back down to the ground, I want it touching the ground somewhere.
Make sure it's like this. So his choice is to move out or go down and get hit by it.
Yeah. So if he's 10 feet, 20 feet, yeah, I'll center the sphere. He's 10 feet off the ground. So
Right
I'll
now,
I'll put it 10 feet above his head.
Okay.
All right.
So you catch him in it. It's a strength saving throw.
Right. So he's going to be, and I'm going to cast it at
Max level.
fifth.
And he rolled a 15.
A strength.
What's the DC?
saving throw 17.
Okay, so he fails.
So that's
Come back to the ground.
I need that one. That's right, too.
6 above. So that's
Gosh.
it's going to be
Sorry.
3d6 bludgeoning damage. It's 15 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And now, a bonus action.
It's the lightning.
I'm gonna use I'm gonna shoot a lightning bolt from the center of the sphere towards him. And I have advantage if he's within the sphere. And I'm also gonna, because it's an attack roll, I can use my other abilities to increase the damage. I think I have to roll a spell attack roll for that. So it doesn't count for the first one. So. That is a 19 to hit.
That does not hit.
Then that is my turn.
Okay. In that case, Gundar, you're up next. Crom, you're up after that. What are you doing?
All I can do is cast Crown of Madness.
What's the save on that?
15 for, I believe it's charisma, but let me double check. Wisdom, 15 wisdom saving throw.
That is it. 11 on wisdom.
He's charmed.
Okay. So, must use its action before moving on each of its turns to make a melee attack against a creature other than itself that you mentally choose. Who are you having an attack?
Well, it's a melee attack, so nobody can't attack it on itself. So
yeah, I mean, there's thousands of different individuals within the outskirts. You could have it try to go after one of those, but it can't hit any one of those right now.
I can't make it move, right? But if I compel it to make a melee attack towards somebody within range,
there's nobody within range of it.
Okay. Then I choose nothing yet. I just want it charmed.
So it can't make an attack on its turn. Yeah.
I did not expect that to work.
I mean, it rolled. He rolled a 3. And he isn't to full power yet. So.
Yeah, still wasn't expecting that to actually work.
As he does that, Crom, you're up next. But as you're doing this, he says, you could be with me." As his mouth doesn't quite follow his words, movement under his skin, he kind of gestures down towards you.
I already serve a different master.
Okay, Crom, you're up.
Okay, question about, so my boots are activated.
Yes.
I have to use an action to fly up there in order to activate my cloak.
To activate the cloak, I think is an action.
Yeah, it's an action. So, but...
You're going to lose your rage if you don't attack.
Yeah, so I guess I'll cross... What?
I don't know. He's only 10 feet off the ground. Can you jump? I don't know how that
I do
works.
have extra jump ability.
I don't know if... I've never thought about jumping up and attacking.
But the boots of haste, it says something about
Very
jumping.
embarrassing.
You can run and jump up to attack him if you need to. He's low enough.
Okay.
He doesn't. You don't have to attack yet. You can attack anybody.
You could attack him.
It's a dwarf.
It's like punch Gundar in the shoulder.
Just like,
Can't believe this shit.
What would you like to do?
So would I in that same turn I wouldn't be able because I have extra attacks but I don't have extra action, so I'm still not gonna be able to try to be hitting him. I don't want to lose my rage, so I can't pretty much I cannot activate my cloak in the ground if I want to hit and
You
keep
cannot fly. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Although, if you lose your rage, you can just go into a rage as a bonus action next time.
This is true.
Yeah.
But you take a point of exhaustion, right?
Yeah. But I get lots of attacks if I go ahead and
No,
attack now.
it's only exhaustion if she decides to like frenzy or
If I haven't frenzied
or
yet.
whatever it
No,
is.
I thought it was rage, period.
Mhm.
Oh, barbarian, what do they use?
Okay, so
Like you have to attack
yeah.
now.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're gonna keep it, yeah. Otherwise, you take a.
All right then. I will do a running jump. Can I do
I
that?
think so. Let me see something. Boots of haste. Yeah, it increases your jump distance, so you can take a running jump and do your attacks.
Oh, okay.
He's low enough still, so go for it.
Oh my god. Fuck. Fucking fuck. Alright, 16?
16 does not hit.
Fucking fuck. So, but I took an attack, so I can,
You have advantage on.
I can frenzy as a bonus and an extra attack. And
I think you go
my
into.
boots.
It says you can go into a frenzy when you rage. So is that it's?
I get a
one,
bonus action. I can do a frenzy attack as a bonus action each time.
And he uses the
after.
bonus action, yeah.
So,
Take your second attack.
yep.
Let's do it.
Got a 5. Okay.
Yeah, at least you can get to it.
You got like a plus 12 or something to hit.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting like
Well, it
low.
must not be plus 12.
What'd you roll?
17.
17 does not hit. Did you want to do your frenzied something? As you're
Yeah.
coming down, you're off the arc. You can just barely hit him. Still, you can still attack if you want.
Okay. And with the boots activated, don't I get an extra attack like once I hit the ground? I know that's a lot to try to do to switch out into a crossbow
Well,
and
I mean, the boots give you
while I'm in the
something.
air.
Let me see something. Inventory. Boots of haste.
I'll roll for my friend.
Yeah, you get.
There we go.
You can make one extra attack, so you get 3 attacks technically. Like you are just moving quick with these things. That they're boots of haste. So yeah.
Okay, so this does hit probably 26.
26 hits.
Okay. Come on, I need it. Plus 3 because I'm raging. So that's 14. Do I get anything? Oh, 14. Okay. Plus 7 is 20.
What's happening?
21. Oh, that was 21 damage?
21 damage. Okay. That's a good amount. Still doesn't seem especially hurt. But as you finally, as 3 swipes and the third one you connect, and you feel it kind of drag through and hit him. Doesn't seem to do a whole lot, but you hit him.
Finally. Good. Good roll for booty.
Okay.
What?
Okay, you do have your boots of haste activated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's calculating.
It is, yeah. It's always like that.
Well, it looked like they were unattuned when I was trying to look at your thing.
Roll.
Oh, I clicked it on and off to check my stats to see what happens when I unattune, just to see.
Mm-hmm.
So rolling behind the thing,
Always do.
still taking the time to hide. Technically somebody's engaged right now, so
I think I didn't see anything.
About activation.
Yeah.
it's cocked. 12 does not hit on this one rolling. In that case, it is Haster's turn. So, looking down on you,
I missed it.
Is he still charmed?
He technically is, yeah, because he has to take his action to. It's a what saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw 15.
Alright, that is a 24. So he can't take anything this turn, but he
No longer charmed.
shakes it off and also floats higher into the air. As he moves higher,
Now the thing
about 30 feet into the air, and also moves forward kind of over you, like to here.
Wait, did he just do? Has he done it? I'm sorry, I was trying to figure out my situation. Did he do an attack since I got in melee range of him?
He has not,
he
because he has been partially charmed, so.
Okay, so he hasn't cast a spell?
No.
Okay.
No, he moved.
Okay.
the storm sphere is
With a
difficult,
spell.
difficult terrain,
He
but it's
moved
not
with,
really-
it is not a spell. You do not detect him casting a spell.
Okay.
The strange yellow cloak around him seems to, as he
I've got a cloak too.
goes higher
Well,
in the air.
That cloak's mine if we give.
And this happens, he says, "This is a shame. You could have been so useful to me. I must punish." And then he kind of trails off. But,
Did we get a opportunity attack?
I mean, you were jumping to hit him, so unfortunately you don't. Lysander, you're
see.
up.
Yeah.
Chomp, you're up next.
Oh, did he move out of the storm sphere?
We got a little bit more time, and then we gotta go. He's technically out of the storm sphere now.
How far is he from me?
Oh, ways 40 or 50 feet.
Oh,
I
well,
guess
can get
I
him.
was next
You would have
time when
run
I
up.
landed.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess I'm going to do like a little combo thing. I'm gonna cast Vicious Mockery at him.
Okay.
I don't
Your
know.
cloak is stupid and ugly.
Yeah. Yellow is not your color.
Ugly.
Thing, you
Go
know.
for it.
Oh, do I roll? No, they make a save, right? Vicious Mockery.
I think that is a save. Is it wisdom save?
Yeah,
Right?
Wisdom 15.
He's not rolling the greatest this time around. 12. So vicious mockery.
3 die 4.
Woo, he's upset about that.
Ooh, 4.
He's not happy with
1.
you.
And another 4. 9.
It's actually pretty damn good.
But now it has disadvantage on the attack roll he makes. I don't think he's necessarily going to make an
Is that
attack
what it
roll,
is?
but yeah.
Okay, well, I'm also going to combo that with Unsettling Words. As a bonus action, you can spend one of your Bardic Inspiration, choose one creature. Roll the Bardic Inspiration die. Okay. 7. They have to subtract 7 from their next saving throw.
Saving throw. 7. Okay.
So I fucked them up 2 ways.
Okay.
Not bad.
In that case, Chomp, you're up.
All right. Okay.
Can anybody like banish him or something? Sort of thing?
I mean, I could try, but I feel like,
He would just come back.
yeah, unless
There's
he's
also
not
thousands of his
fine.
followers around,
Yeah.
like that aren't doing anything yet. They're just watching him. But this is a tense situation. As you decided you were going to attack him.
Yeah,
Um,
like we do.
which I was
I don't
gonna
know if it
save
was a
some of my area.
Gundar, you're up after Chomp.
Decision.
Chomp, what are you doing?
Um.
Do it.
Chain lightning.
Okay.
So I'm gonna target him, and then it's also gonna three bolts are gonna arc from him, and I guess I'm just gonna those 3 bolts are just gonna hit like some of these barrels down below him, just some objects
Not
around
his
him.
followers.
Cool.
I don't think they're close enough. They have to be within 30 feet.
Okay. He's up in the air.
So he has a Dex saving throw of 17 to make.
Gosh, he's not rolling well. All right. Dex, that's an 8.
Okay, so he fails it.
Oh, he has an advantage against being charmed. Dang it. Oh well.
Too late.
It happened.
So
Didn't do much anyway.
It didn't. I mean, it kept him from attacking for a couple rounds.
that's gonna be 38 lightning damage.
Okay. And then
And then I'm going to bonus action fire off another lightning bolt from the storm sphere.
okay, go for it.
Oh yeah. That's a 28 to hit.
That hits.
So where did I cast it at? 5th level? Or wait, no. Yes, that was a 5th level storm sphere that I did. So it's gonna be 6. Plus and then extra d6. Oh man, this is gonna be big.
That's a lot of dice.
Okay, so that's 21 lightning damage and 14 force damage.
Enough for it. This way. I've got one right here.
No regrets.
No, we're good.
You can always use D&D Beyond to roll all this shit for you.
This is
While
true.
your computer down.
This is true. Okay, so how much that damage?
Okay, so that was what did I say?
24 and 14. I think.
20
24. 14.
21 more lightning damage
Okay.
and 14 force damage.
35. Okay. Gundar, you're up. As you hear this, just this cacophony above you. What are you doing? Crom, you're up after this.
Bittersweet.
I'm moving pretty
You
much
can-
directly under him, and I'm holding action.
You can, what are you holding?
Melee attack.
Okay. You can see him visibly becoming just like angry and not happy. Crom, you're up.
I made fun of the road. He's big.
See, Tim, what I need to do is I need to fly, but I feel like I'm stuck because I didn't do that before I started to rage. So I feel like I'm stuck. Is that true?
It's all about the action economy, right?
Fuck.
So
I'll just.
but with the frenzy you can attack as a bonus action, or do you have to take the attack action to get that bonus
If I'm not
action?
damaged or attack, I lose my rage.
Right.
Before the end of the turn.
But it's before the end of the turn.
Yeah.
So if you activated your cloak as an action, does some things the rules say like you get to attack as a bonus action if you took attack as your action?
It says attack. I have to attack. To
Right.
Get the extra.
Yeah, you
Okay.
don't. Well, you don't have to make the attack to get the melee weapon attack as a bonus action. According to Frenzy,
Okay.
while in a frenzy,
Yeah,
you call being in frenzy, and then you make a single melee weapon attack as a bonus action on each of your turns after that.
Oh, okay. So I can
You're-
activate it
You can
as
activate
an
it
action
and then make
then
one attack.
frenzy.
Your bonus attack, your
Okay.
2 attacks you get every turn,
I got it.
you have to take
Yeah.
attack
Yeah.
action for that.
So you're gonna activate it and fly up.
Yep.
So you fly up to be right next to him and then make one attack. Frenzy.
It also says with my boots I get extra attack too. 25.
True, technically. Yes. 25 hits. Go for your damage. We're gonna have to end pretty soon after this. But that's okay. He'll end it well.
9. No. 9. 19. Yeah, I guess 19.
19 damage as you fly up, your kind of bluish dragon wings kind of coming out behind you. You manage to slice across once.
And
Second one.
19 plus 12, whatever that is, numbers.
Okay, that'll do it. Your damage?
19 again.
19 again. Okay. Twice hitting. All right. As this happens, Roland will shoot one more time. There's a hit with a critical hit. And that is a 18. Okay. 25. Looking hurt-ish at this point, and angry as hell. He looks at all of you, kind of points each one of you out, because those who were attacked he can now see
we're
and everything
chickens.
that we're maybe trying to.
No, we're chickens.
Okay. And you hear this rumble beyond any clouds that are around.
Oh, no.
And you see these small flaming spheres start to appear and grow larger in the sky.
Oh.
That's what it looks
think
like.
it is?
Giant flaming rocks start to fly down out of nowhere. Could everybody make a dex saving throw?
I don't think it's gonna matter.
You all make your saving throw while I count.
Yeah. Everybody except Lysander gets +3.
Hooray.
Some of y'all are going down this time, just so you know.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm taking a nap here.
That's with your +3?
Oh, I think if it's like full damage, half damage, or something.
He cast
I don't have
Meteor
much.
Swarm, so
I don't have
Oh,
much.
gosh.
I don't have much hit
it's like a
points.
9th level spell.
Oh, bye-bye.
I knew I should have polymorphed for some extra HPs. I wouldn't have been able to hit him though. Tyrannosaurus or something.
I mean, yeah, but HPs. Okay. All right. What's the DC? What's the saving throws we got?
18.
21,
18.
18,
14.
14,
20.
20. Roland, Lysander, and Gundar, you save, so you take half damage. The damage is 52 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, and I have
52. So I take a quarter bludgeoning.
Yes.
So 52, that'd be 26, so 13.
All right.
And I have resistance.
And then
'cause
there
of
is
it.
also fire damage that comes on.
You said 52?
52.
And if you have resistance, what's that?
41 fire damage.
Half.
Half. Yeah, so 52. It's 26.
So round up or round down?
Round down.
Alright, so 20 fire damage.
Okay.
Wait,
You take 20 fire
I take
damage.
full fire damage.
52 bludgeoning, half? Was that
Halved. Yes. It's 26.
So 25?
26, but yeah. Roll in. Let me bring it down real quick.
I'm in the negatives, so.
You got us into this.
So you go down.
Yeah, I didn't say follow
Anybody
me.
else? Chomp, are you down?
Yo, yeah.
Guessing
yeah.
you're very down.
Yeah, actually. So what was the fire? What was that secondary damage? The fire damage or whatever?
It's like
41.
41.
So I mean, I think
You didn't
You're like
take quite
twice
twice as
your-
much, but almost.
No, I'm.
Characters dead.
I
We have
think I'm-
Revivify.
I think I'm insta killed.
I have Revivify if I can get to
Which
it.
I mean, you're technically dead right now.
Yeah.
Are you still alive?
I only
yeah.
I only had.
I'm not even bloody yet.
What's? Oh wow, you still.
I'm not exactly sure, but I guess I wasn't
I'm
like,
not
instant
dead.
dead or anything because D&D Beyond popped up with my death saves. I haven't done that yet. Must not have been too deep in the hole.
Yeah, I think you got to take twice your HP amount into negatives, and that's instant dead.
Is it twice? I thought it was just.
Roland is down as well. Okay, who's up? You're up.
Actually, no.
Are you
Everybody
still
else is
up?
I
dead.
forget what the
Well, are you
Oh,
still
yeah.
are you still conscious? Are you still
Uh-huh.
conscious? Or are you unconscious?
No.
You're
I got
down.
26
Roland's down.
left.
You're up. You're
Down.
dead.
We
unless
think,
somebody
we
gets to
think
you.
Chomsky's dead.
All right, and you're still flying in the air
And I'm fucking pissed.
because as meteors rain down, what are you doing? Well, actually, I mean we're still in initiative order. We need to. Lysander, what are you? You're down. Roll a death saving throw. Chomp, you're. It doesn't matter. Gundar, what are you doing?
Roll a 20.
You see everybody else like just in fiery mass go down.
That's not a 20.
First off, action, lay on hands.
Okay.
What do I? How do I do death saves?
Roll a d20 and tell me what you get.
I got a 13.
That's a save. So you got one. You got one save.
So I'm lay on hands pool for 47. I'm back at max health.
Okay.
Uh,
What are you doing in the meantime?
let's do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
Almost there.
30. I'm almost there.
Okay. Next up, Crom. What are you doing?
Hitting him.
He's right in front of you. Go ahead and hit him.
14 plus 12, 26. 26 hit?
26 hits. Yeah, go ahead. Pretty much.
20
Roland is also
damage.
down, so you can knock him.
You got a hammer? So I can smash that fucking thing.
Saves. Okay. Okay.
20 on that damage.
Okay.
And
What's-
then I get an extra attack.
Yeah, go for your extra attack.
22.
That hits. Go ahead for your damage.
17.
17. Okay.
Another attack.
Round should go quicker.
Ooh.
Is that a 20?
It is.
Oh, that's a crit.
And I have a special thing
Oh, you
that
got
happens
special crits.
that I never get to use.
Chop his fucking head off.
What you doing?
I got a 20 on my third.
All right.
It says brutal critical. You can roll one additional weapon damage die when determining the extra damage for a critical.
So you'd roll normal damage and then
Add one.
Add
Or
one.
then add.
The 2 again? Do I do double or no?
so you would roll, double it, and then roll one more.
Okay. So 9.
Roll and double it, and then roll one more.
10. 19.
19.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and
Add
add
the
my
modifier
modifier
once.
once?
Yeah.
Okay.
20 something.
Plus. What is it? What did I say the number was?
19.
19 plus 7.
26.
26 plus 3.
29.
And is that doubled?
No, that's just.
No, that's
Well,
with,
that was.
base.
that's with double
I
dice.
rolled extra
Oh.
dice instead
She
of
doubled the
rolling.
dice instead of doubling the roll.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you hit him and you're just slicing through. He doesn't seem to care too much, and he's just angry looking at this point.
That was my third one. I get one more.
Okay, go.
Ah!
Oh yeah, extra. What'd you get?
1.
I
One?
do a crit and then a 1.
A 1.
Is that
Oh,
a 1 or a
nice.
7?
It's a 1.
I
No,
can't tell.
that's a 7.
Oh, that's a 7?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's a 7. Just kidding.
What-
But it
what's-
probably doesn't help me.
Probably doesn't hit. What's your
21, 19, 18?
8? It does not hit.
Oh man.
As this
That's good, it
happens,
wasn't
Crom,
nice,
Roland,
Yeah.
that's another
That
Should've,
would've
like,
sucked.
fell
save.
down on my head.
Roland does a second save. Haster, looking at you all and just looking angrily at you, kind of puts a hand on your chest and pushes you away a little bit and says, I don't have time for this. I have to punish those who hurt me. And his hand starts to glow, and every tendrils of power seem to go off as the movement under his face seems to agitate. Tendrils of his power seem to go off to all of his followers around, one to each. And as he does, there's a flash and kind of of air, as if air is moving into a vacuum, and none of them are here anymore.
Including himself?
Including himself and who knows how many hundreds of followers.
Wow.
Just gone. Although, as you notice, some of them are left behind, and they immediately fall over, just totally limp. And as you look, they're these desiccated husks, as if they were drained as he left. And that's where we're going to leave it, with a couple of you down, and Haster having...
Well, I mean, technically Chauncey's dead.
I'm
I mean, you gotta get to him within
Fatality.
You gotta get to him within how long?
Don't get distracted by the mud. Just go straight for him.
What's up?
I should have stayed hidden, but that's what Surthus would have done. Surthus would have been okay.
An honorable
And
death.
had spared the
No,
dying and all that
There's
thing.
a little
Within the
bit.
last minute.
honorable death.
Yeah, so you're only 6 seconds into getting to him.
Okay.